You're listening to this special edition of Middays with Matt here at the rainy Omaha Baseball Village. We will give you a weather update in a second, but we would like to let you know that this special edition of Middays with Matt is powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and children's Nebraska. Hour one is presented by Union Bank and Trust at UPT. People don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. Matt McMaster joined by Mike Schaefer today. Josh Odson with us as well. Jake Janicek back at our 50th and Dodge Studios here in the Big O, the rainy Big O, as we woke up this morning. And as you guys have seen, I have a nice view of downtown. I have I see a lot of the buildings. The Mutual of Omaha building kind of peaks just a little bit. I see the very tippy top of it.
Penthouses often have a nice view.
I did not see anything today. It was cloudy, it was foggy, it was rainy, it was windy, it was everything. You told me, Josh Odson, that you couldn't see the chai at about 8:30, and we are literally a stone's throw away from the CHI Health Center. What is our weather update for us, Josh Odson?
Well, here's the good news.
Ooh, good news.
The rain is probably over for the day.
Nice.
We experienced some pretty torrential downpours at times today. It should clear out of the Omaha Metro by 11 to 11:30. A shower or thunderstorm possible this afternoon, although it is expected to be south of the Omaha Metro. High of 76 today, so it disrupted the atmosphere enough to keep those temps low. Wind shifting in the north this afternoon, 10 to 20 miles an hour, so it could be a little windy for our baseball games today. Tonight, clearing and cooler with lower humidity, low of 57. Windows open tonight? I don't know. It's up to you. Sunny and breezy tomorrow, pleasant, high of 74. Monday, beautiful day, high of 78. So pretty lucky, all things considered.
I would say more than lucky. I mean, it is quite insane that if this storm came in a couple of hours later, it would have been really would have thrown a wrench in things. I mean,
slightly disruptive is what I would call it.
Yeah, last year we did have the LSU UCLA game where it had to be played the next morning, right? Where we had a couple of those innings had to be played, and then we proceeded with regular standing, right? It kind of really didn't disrupt too much of the schedule. Not only did we not get that today, it's also going to be cooler. 76 sounds awesome. 76 sounds incredible.
Had a great day yesterday. Looks like another one after some question marks at the start of the day.
Rob Anderson yesterday of Creighton Athletics had an incredible stat that yesterday's game one was.
We really need to just get a Rob Anderson stat drop or something.
I agree.
1620 just in general. I feel like once every 3 or 4 shows across 6A to 6P, someone's like, hey, I saw Robbie Anderson have a tweet.
We should have a ticker that's
Someone
just
should
going
sponsor.
across the bottom of the YouTube TV page.
The University of Creighton should sponsor every time we have a Rob Anderson.
I couldn't agree more.
This is an easy sell. I'll let our sales staff know we should get this done.
We should treat Rob Anderson stats like the old school ESPN ticker. Where
that's a great idea.
It was always flashing.
You bring it up across the bottom of the show, and it's like, hey, latest Rob Anderson stat.
And then there is nothing more exciting as a kid when you're watching Sports Center and you're watching the ticker, right? And all of a sudden the ticker goes black. And then it has the big red breaking right on the left of it. You go, oh, my God. And typically
Mike Tyson has bit Evander Holyfield's ear.
Well, something to this extent, it'd be coming live. So it would show up on the ticker first.
Sure.
And then they would cut to, Steve Levy is there. We have breaking news coming out of Carolina Panthers training camp.
I can't begin to explain to you what it was like as a kid watching baseball tonight around the trade deadline. And you would get one of those breaking updates, and it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
And this is at the time where, Pedro was getting traded, and, Randy Johnson is getting traded. And you're just sitting around, and as a Cleveland fan, they wanted both of those guys. Famously got none of them.
Yeah.
They did get John Smiley and I think Denny Nagel. And
they always had Denny Nagel.
Yeah, random, not Chuck Finley. Those were the sorts of pitchers that I got to get excited about. But you as a kid, you were just so ready to see what that news was.
I think I missed out on baseball tonight.
My God.
I think I'm too young. I remember you'd see a web gem or
ESPN
two.
nostalgia, the two things, baseball tonight, NFL primetime. Those are amazing. Sports Center, great. The Big Show with Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann or Rich Eisen or whatever, good. Those two, Baseball Tonight, NFL Primetime.
I will go back and just watch old Chris Berman highlights. Like,
With
not
Tom
a joke.
Jackson?
Yeah. With him just like, whoop.
Natron means
The Raiders roll.
Every Ty Law interception, they fought the law, and the law won.
Junior Seau interception. Whoop.
Yeah.
Chargers beat the Chiefs
I make
37-24.
I make that Berman noise sometimes when I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
And like you get by a defender and you just do that.
Yep.
They still have NFL primetime with him and Booger. Him and Booger do it.
It's not the
But
same.
it's on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
It's very hidden away. I mean, they have done like a ghost firing, it feels like, with Chris Berman. Like they have put him in like an old man closet.
But he's about
And
they're about to bring him out.
Oh, you think?
Because they have the Super Bowl and they are going to cram that.
Well, they have a big anniversary too, right?
Yeah,
like, aren't we closing in on nearly 50 years of ESPN?
all of that from first employee to Super Bowl, whatever.
I have to watch it. Rich Eisen did a podcast with Dan Patrick, and it's like, so
I'm gonna
Rich,
get to it.
Rich Eisen is doing this like This Is Sports Center.
Okay, I wondered who was doing that. I haven't.
Podcasting series. And Rich Eisen, in my opinion, is the second best interviewer in all of broadcasting. The best interviewer in all of broadcasting was the guy he was interviewing in Dan Patrick. So it's a incredible conversation.
These are the best interviewers in all of
broadcasting. I'm talking more so about like panel forum. I'm not necessarily talking about like Laura Rutledge or Lisa Salters or like sideline reporters. I'm more so talking about like long form.
Well, and then I was like, are we talking about like 2020 and CBS 60 Minutes when that was a thing? 60 Minutes used to be this big show, Matt.
Yes,
you may not have,
that is a great point.
You may not have been aware, but
I'm just saying in terms of all of the long form podcasters that I listen to, Rich Eisen is definitely the best in interviewing people, without a doubt, except for Dan Patrick. They had a great broadcast together. Dan Patrick, though, brought up that him and Stuart Scott didn't really get along.
That was the one quote I saw from that interview.
And that was fascinating.
And that made you want to,
yeah.
It was fascinating. But it's also, too, Dan Patrick being so open and honest about, here's this beloved ESPN broadcaster that everyone, misses. Him and I didn't really see eye to eye. And the fact that he was so open about it, I have to go back and watch it. But, I mean, it kind of takes you back to the whole, ESPN used to have some awesome broadcasters, and now it just kind of seems like they're a little pigeonholed.
They have purposely attempted to not have stars as broadcasters. They just want interchangeable pieces.
Yeah. So
the highlights and the show itself is the star, but that way they don't have to pay for a Dan Patrick or a Keith Olbermann or a Kenny Mayne or that's the whole thing.
The stars will be on display today. We have two phenomenal games in the College World Series. The red-hot Oklahoma Sooners, who people did really not give them a chance, even in their own regional, to get out. But they have found their way to Omaha. We talked about the Troy Trojans yesterday. Every time I said, I talked about Troy, I go, they're the second hottest team in the country. They're the next hottest team in the country. Well, the hottest team in the country is Oklahoma. They're going to be playing Alabama. Alabama is absolutely phenomenal this year. They've been one of the better teams in all the
SEC. What is your definition of hottest team in the country?
Well, I'm just kind of going off the fact that this was an Oklahoma team that not everybody gave a chance, and they were able to beat Georgia Tech, who a lot of people had penciled in to go ahead and be here in Omaha. Sure. I mean, Connor Happer, who covers the stuff along with you so well, I remember talking to him, and he said to me, I'm not so much surprised about UCLA not making it out of the regional. I'm actually really surprised Georgia Tech didn't make it out.
Well, the way they didn't make it by giving up basically 5 runs in the last 2 innings of a deciding game 3.
But Oklahoma will be in action tonight. And then this is, it happened last year with Arkansas versus LSU. That was the big game everybody was talking about. That was the game where we said, okay, whoever wins this one probably going to end up coming out of the bracket. You could make the argument that this is the same game with Georgia and Texas, 2 of the better teams in the College World Series. It's going to be this mashing Georgia lineup versus one of the better pitchers in all of the country, Dylan Volantis of the Texas Longhorns. Should be a marquee matchup. It's SEC Day here at the Omaha Baseball Village.
Right.
4 SEC teams are in action. It should be a fun day. And we will be here all day broadcasting on 1620 The Zone. Come by the Zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's, official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating 40 years with over 3,000 flavors, Benson and the Old Market, Omaha. And also come by the Zone booth for some free hash hole vouchers from Early Bird. Early Bird brunch, not your everyday brunch, every day. We return with some fun segments here between me and Mike Schaefer.
Fun.
Do you want to talk about basketball or soccer, Mike? Hold that thought. We're going to hit a break here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Special edition of Middays with Matt here, not only because we're at the Omaha Baseball Village, but I have a co-host. Well, I always have a co-host in Josh Hodson, but I have another host in Mike Schaefer joining me. And Schaefer should be a fun time here at the OBV. It's powered by Axis Bank. Here for a reason, yours and Children's Nebraska. Hour one of this special edition of Middays with Matt is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. We've talked about it incessantly throughout the entirety, not only of just this Omaha Baseball Village shows, but leading up to it. This is an incredible week of sports. We have a lot of entertaining things going on. Remember, tomorrow we have the UFC fight on the lawn of the White House. I believe the weather is it's still slated to rain, but it's gotten better. We've been trending in the right direction.
Fight in the rain?
There's a big stage over
an awning.
So they're going to be fine.
I think I would only be, and this isn't to say I'm not a big UFC guy. I think my interest in this would only rise if they were fighting in the rain. Then I would be like, oh man.
Have you ever watched?
Something.
Have you ever watched Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James and
no?
Who was Arthur Fonzarelli again? Henry Winkler was in the movie. Yeah. He was a central character. Here Comes the Boom, a phenomenal fighting movie. In the early montage of Kevin James, who's a teacher, becoming a UFC fighter in order to keep Henry Winkler's band afloat in high school.
What a plot!
They fight in the rain. And it's really funny because it's just Kevin James and this other, MMA fighter slipping around. It's a great scene.
That's great.
It's very funny. You should watch Here Comes the Boom.
I'm really proud that you knew Henry Winkler as the Fonz and you didn't just go oh yeah, the coach from the Water Boy.
I've seen every episode of Happy Days.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is a central show in my house.
I had to basically put you in a headlock and give you a noogie to watch 2.5 minutes of Terrell Farley.
Yeah.
But you've seen every episode of the Happy Days.
I mean, granted.
Next, you're going to tell me that you think that Joni Loves Chachi was actually underrated.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, my goodness.
It's pretty funny. I will say, I haven't watched an episode in quite some time, but I'll come back home and my dad will have that TV network on that has the match game with from the 60s and the 70s.
Sure.
And that's where Happy Days comes on. The three shows we watched growing up were Happy Days, Castle with Nathan Fillion, and The Big Bang Theory. I got a really a amuse-bouche of television growing up.
That's incredible.
Anyway. What I was going to, how did we even? Oh, UFC 250.
Sure, yeah.
250 should be a fun time. But what happened yesterday was even more entertaining. Something I did not expect. Did you watch the World Cup game?
I did watch the
between USA and Paraguay. What were your takeaways, soccer expert Mike Schaefer?
Not a soccer expert, just a World Cup enjoyer and enthusiast. I thought the United States was aggressive in a way that they aren't always. The version of them that I largely grew up with Bob Bradley as the coach. They were a counter-punching team. They let teams get in deep on them, and then they would try to catch you in that vein.
A little bit like what Paraguay was supposed to be doing.
They had some really, the through pass right at the end of the first half. They got the third goal.
Yeah. Nice use of the word through pass, awesome. Mike Schaefer.
Well, I played FIFA. I mean, it was triangle.
It was triangle. It wasn't.
And it was very well done.
I was a crosser in FIFA. I was always hitting square.
Oh, yeah. No, I like to play out wide, cross in, and try to hit.
Did you have a favorite formation in FIFA? Mine was a 4-3-3-3 with two wingers. That way,
whatever the diamond formation is, basically.
The diamond. I think that's a 4-2-1-2. I think that's a 4-2-1-2, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a good one. 4-2-1-2 and the 4-3-3.
It was a 4-1-2-1-2.
I think it's a 4-1-2-1-2. Yeah. That's the one with a CDM in there.
Yes.
You have a CDM.
I was a big fan of the CDM.
And you have a CAM. You have a CAM as well.
Sometimes. Center attacking mid.
Well, you can make a good German
and then
team.
Center defensive mid.
4-2-1-2 was always if you wanted a Bundesliga team.
Okay.
That was the formation because you could put Philip Lahm at the CDM, but then you get Aubameyang, who played for Borussia Dortmund, up there on striker.
See, you're saying things that I'm not even sure that I can
fact check. The kids out there who played FIFA 14 know exactly what I am talking about.
Okay.
Here. But USA, you're right. They were super impressive. I've never seen them that fast. They were just so fast yesterday. They were so aggressive. They were really putting the pressure on Paraguay.
They just seemed really juiced up. I mean, getting to play at home, playing in this matchup. I think they also kind of knew, like, hey, we go win this, we have a great opportunity of getting out.
I mean, basically,
all of the respect in the world to Australia, like that's a team that the United States should be able to, at worst, draw. But if more than likely, could be a multi-goal win.
Well, with this new format where you have more teams who are getting into the knockout rounds, you win your first game, you have a very high likelihood of making it to the knockout stage.
Now it becomes like, who do you want to try to play in the knockout stages now that you have this sort of advantage? Because if you're able to take care of Australia, that puts you at worst finishing second, depending on what happens with Turkey.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have not gotten that far into who I think.
You got to get that far in there. You want to avoid the best teams in the world early in the knockout rounds.
I will say there were soccer people who were really into this thing who were telling me that goal at the very end of the game from Gio Reyna was massive for the goal differential.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you're a +3 after one game.
Yeah.
And, like I said, if at worst you draw with Australia, you're in a really good shot to get one of those. If you win, you're guaranteed to get one of those.
I think yesterday, number one, another takeaway that I had was Paraguay's pretty bad at soccer. They just seemed disorganized. They were running over each other. They seemed sloppy. They weren't really passing the ball. I mean, their system was to play really good defense and then be able to counter. And I don't even think they had
they didn't get a chance to. They were just. The pressure was on them.
Well, I mean, it was amazing how many times the USA turned the ball over and then they were able to just kind of, and this is a hockey term, they were able to back check and get back and then get the ball back and go back forward. I was just super impressed with their energy. I think I underrated how big of a deal it is for them to be playing at home. I think I underrated how big of a deal it is. For them
I
to
think
be
everybody
kind of
did because they haven't since 1994. I don't remember it.
And you go them having the juice. I mean, I think you can pretty easily relate it to the fact that it's like
good atmosphere.
It's a phenomenal atmosphere
in SoFi, and I don't know if it's a product of the Knicks game. But it felt like the Fox broadcasters were really trying to find LA famous people to show us on the TV all the time.
They did a good job, though, as not acknowledging it every single time that they found.
Well, they would just put somebody out there. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw Katy Perry at one point.
No, you saw Katy Perry with the former Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau.
I was trying to figure out who that was.
No.
He's recognizable. And then I didn't want to do the thing where you're
I can't believe I'm the one explaining to you that Trudeau is dating Katy Perry.
I know that this is a thing that's happening.
The shoe is on the other foot.
No, this is a normal shoeless foot for me. I'm not a big celebrity news guy.
I am too big.
But I did know that they were a thing. I just remember I'm pretty sure that's Katy Perry, but why do I know who that guy is?
Did you ever see them at Coachella together? They were eating noodles.
Man, I don't look at Coachella pictures.
You're not a Coachella guy?
I don't care about music festivals at all.
That is the least surprising thing I've ever heard about Mike Schaefer in my entire life.
No, that's not to say that I wouldn't attend a music festival. They have those ones that are down there around spring training time for baseball. That they have like a 3-day festival that's a bunch of 90s bands that I would be interested in.
See, but you're combining baseball and 90s bands. That's probably the most calm music concert in all of America.
Could be.
Men who like baseball watching 90s rock. That just sounds like a Bill Simmons podcast.
Yeah, it basically just sounds like a way to get a bunch of white people together to have nostalgia rock. I mean, so that's what it is. I know what I am. I'm not trying to pretend to be anything I'm not over here.
And we know what we are. We are a very fun show here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Don't forget to come by the Zone booth inside the OBV.
Josh is outside and he looks dry.
Cash hole vouchers from Early Bird brunch, not your everyday brunch every day. It has calmed down definitely here a little bit. It looked like a dystopia when I was walking into OBV today with the rain coming down, the wind. I also had these sunglasses on and they have like a yellow tint.
You were wearing sunglasses.
I was. I wanted to protect my eyes.
The clouds were giving you natural sunglasses, and you were like, "Hey, I need a tint.
Eyes from the rain.
I need a colored vision."
Well, look, you're not gonna. It's gonna get a little bit.
You are a fascinating creature.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Don't forget to save the date, by the way, for Friday night live at the Mat. Friday, June 19th, Pet Rock plays live at the OBV for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the Mat. All right, you soccer fans, we did our soccer talk. Me and Mike Schaefer, we broke down soccer, okay? That's how big the World Cup is. Coming up next, we'll talk about another big event happening tonight, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. I never thought that my eyes would see what my eyes might see tonight. We will talk what I'm talking about next here on 1620 The Zone. Keeping it rolling here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network, a special edition of Middays with Matt. We finally have some people who are rolling in and out of the Omaha Baseball Village after some pretty severe thunderstorms hit the Omaha metropolitan area earlier this morning. Josh can even see about 100 yards, maybe much longer than 100 yards, probably like 200 yards away from the CWS.
Yeah, you said it was a stone's throw. I would give you a lot of money if you could throw a stone from here.
I think a lot of football teams would give me a lot of money if I could throw a stone from here to the CWS.
Well, there's a big difference between throwing a stone and throwing a football.
Yeah, but I feel like if I could, I mean, that is like a good, 4 street blocks away. I mean,
that's not that close.
But you still could see. I mean,
I'm not,
health center is very
look,
big.
I have questions about Josh's vision, all of these sorts of things.
Josh has been rocking his bifocals that are under his Oakley.
I laugh every time I see it because it catches me, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like
He's got his windshield protection on right
basically. Now. Hey, this special edition of Middays with Matt is powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and children's Nebraska. Hour 1 is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. It's funny, we'll be talking about that. We were talking about a basketball arena. We'll be talking about basketball this segment. Here's the funny thing, Mike Schaefer, as a man who was born in 2002, the Knicks have never been good in my life. Like, they have always been terrible. Death, taxes, and the Knicks just being a tire fire that we talk way too much about on big broadcasting networks. They almost were like a worse version of the Dallas Cowboys in the regard that we always talked about the Cowboys, even though can't really remember when the Cowboys have been the undisputed best team in the NFL. When I was growing up, they had some pretty good teams.
2014, 2015.
Is that the Des Catch year
where they were?
Oh, that was a good year too.
They were 14-2 or whatever.
That was probably the best Cowboys team that I've experienced.
And then stupid Aaron Rodgers found stupid Jared Cook for like a 22-yard first down on a third and long.
That was the one they was rolling left, right? And then
it's him on the sideline.
Oh, that's one of the best throws that I've seen in quite some time.
It's a good throw by a terrible person. Anyways.
But I never thought I would see the New York Knicks winning an NBA Finals.
Really?
And I'm still not convinced that I'm going to see the Knicks win an NBA Finals.
They could lose.
There's still a piece of me that thinks that this just possibly cannot happen. I remember when they had Julius Randle before they traded for Karl Anthony Towns being like, wow, the Knicks are feisty. Like, when have the Knicks really ever been feisty before my eyes? And now not only are the Knicks feisty, they're feisty with a hit of just being really, really good at basketball. But this has been quite the fascinating series. All 4 games, the San Antonio Spurs have had a double-digit lead. They had a double-digit lead in game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, and still they are down 3-1. It really, until Jalen Brunson went off in game 4 in the second half, he hasn't had the most efficient series.
No.
The first 2 games of the series, they were down, and they were bad in the Jalen Brunson minutes. He had a negative box plus minus. It took that miraculous comeback and more of a collapse, if anything, by the San Antonio Spurs for you to finally see the best version of Jalen Brunson. But look, you look at this New York Knicks team, top to bottom, they are a team. I think that's like the biggest point. And we've seen kind of this shift in the NBA where it used to be, the 2 superstar model. Then we moved to the 3 superstar model. Then we kind of were shifting back to the 2 superstar model. And now we've just come to a model where if you just have 9 to 10 really, really good basketball players coupled with a superstar like Jalen Brunson, that's kind of the model you need to win. And that's what the Knicks are. They're just, you had big shots from obviously OG Anunoby, but Jose Alvarado made one of the biggest shots in the second half.
Sure.
With that 3 in the fourth quarter. And they kind of have that just in spades throughout the entirety of the roster. You can compare it to what Oklahoma City had last year. And the Spurs do have that as well. But, you look at this New York Knicks roster, the one advantage that they definitively have over San Antonio is they have a ton of experience. They have a lot of older players playing big minutes. The Spurs don't have that. And I think the fact that the Knicks have been down by double digits game after game after game, have been able to claw back, has been very evident that they just have an old team, that they know what they're doing. And I think the Spurs, their 28-point or 29-point collapse against the Knicks in game 4, it was pretty evident that, they had a young team. It didn't really have enough vets, adults in the room to say, hey, we need to get this thing together. We need to figure it out.
Yeah, so where I kind of come in on it, and I haven't locked in for every minute of this series, but I've watched at least a quarter, if not more, in every game in this series. It is amazing to me the Knicks are 3-1, and at no point have I felt like they have taken this.
Yeah.
They've sort of just received it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in a way.
And that's not to try to take anything away from them. It's to say that the Spurs keep getting in their own way. and the Knicks do just enough to stay out of their own way. I mean, neither team really deserved to win the other night. What was that, Wednesday night? And it was a game where you have a Spurs team that has this big lead, and they stopped going into the paint in the third quarter. Was listening to whatever show was on before ours here today as I was driving down, and he said something that I didn't realize. After he picked up that flagrant, Wemby didn't score a single point in the paint in the third quarter. The Spurs didn't score a single point in the paint in the third quarter. You have a 7'4" player who's one of the best in the NBA, and you were up by 29 points at one point, and you aren't at all going inside. Like they got way too comfortable shooting outside. I think the Spurs coach is having a bad series in general.
He's Mitch
with
Johnson,
managing leads, managing his team's morale and psyche.
Mitch has showed his, like, I talked about the San Antonio Spurs roster, like their players showing their inexperience. Mitch Johnson has definitely showed his inexperience as well. He refused to take a timeout in that fourth quarter. It was insane how he just let that lead bleed after bucket after bucket after bucket. And MSG is rising to their feet.
Sure.
You feel the building shaking. And he felt at no point it was his responsibility to call a timeout and try and, put water on the flame. It was, you're right. He has not had a good series.
And so for me, a lot of it is like, all right, the Knicks are just taking advantage of what the Spurs are doing. If the Spurs stop leaving all of these openings, there's a world where they win these next 3 games and win this in 7.
I mean, they've had a double-digit lead in all 4 games, and they won 1.
In the third quarter on Wednesday, I didn't think the Knicks were going to win another game in this series.
Yeah.
It felt to me like the Spurs were about to even it up, go back home, win a game, and then win at Madison Square Garden to put the Knicks out for good. And, we'll see if this gets to a Game 7. We'll see what happens with the Spurs. I do wonder, when you have a collapse like that, if you can mentally just pick yourself back up and do the things that you were doing that gave you the lead in the first place. Or if they're going to have so much PTSD about how this all went down that they're just going to be scattershot. And it's a good thing they're at home, but it could be if they start slow tonight, the Knicks could bury them. Like it could be a buried alive in your own city to lose a title.
That would be brutal. You brought up a great point, them not being in the paint. And it is like, I mean, it's low-hanging fruit, but it's the correct analysis. Wemby is so big, and, his height is his advantage, and sometimes you wonder, why aren't you using it? But I'll say this. In 2011, when LeBron James and the Miami Heat lost to the Dallas Mavericks, LeBron James said, I need a 10-foot game. Like, I need to be able to post up. I need to be able to do some creative things near the block. I think if the Spurs end up losing the series, which at this point it's the most likely outcome, the same thing is going to happen for Wemby. I think Wemby needs to get some sort of 10-foot game. He needs to get some sort of hook shot, get some sort of, one dribble baby hook, get some sort of drop step or fade. Because I think if you want, you were having this conversation of like, oh, it's so tough to get into the paint for him. Well, Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns are big guys. They're big, strong guys, and they've been hounding them. An easy way to do it is, all right, put him in the post. But I don't think he has that game really right now.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if that's something he might develop if they lose the series.
Well, and the point that radio host was trying to make is he was wondering if it was in Wembanyama's head that he had picked up that third flagrant, one more point, and he's suspended for a game.
Oh, yeah.
And so then it's like he's changing the physicality of which he's playing with because he's worried about the future of the series rather than winning the game that's right in front of him. So it's all really, and not to just completely regurgitate someone else's point, but it struck me like I hadn't considered it.
Sure.
Part of the passiveness from the Spurs emanates entirely from getting that, which kind of a weak flagrant in my mind. Like Karl-Anthony Towns sticks his head in.
Aren't they all weak?
I have a tough time with
there's
like
some of them.
we
There's
give
some
a lot of
flagrants that are flagrants. There are some flagrants. It's same thing with targeting in college football. Yeah. Like more often times than not, I look at something and I say, that's not targeting.
Yeah,
more often times than not, I look at something and I go, really? That's a flagrant?
Right. I don't love the idea of getting a flagrant because a defender's sticking his face right in front of your chest. Like Karl-Anthony Towns is bent down, trying to move laterally and sticking his face right in Wembanyama's chest. Like, yeah, you caught an elbow. Like, don't put your head there. That's on you.
Yeah.
Like But
feeling
whatever. They made the call, and that's not an uncommon one.
I like.
I just thought it was interesting that
Yeah.
that guy pointed out, like, it dramatically changed how Wembanyama played the rest of the game.
I like your point about, will the collapse have PTSD? This could be, I talk a lot about the inexperience of the Spurs roster, but this could be the advantage for him. Like, maybe they don't know any better. Like,
Well, you don't know what you don't know,
exactly.
and like, you're young and dumb, and you're going to go out there and try to put this thing together.
I might know a thing or two about being young and dumb and not knowing what you don't know. What we do know, though, is that the smells of the Omaha Baseball Village are now they're tingling our nostrils right now.
You're tingled?
I'm tingled by the smell of barbecue and burgers and brats and hot dogs right now that I currently smell coming into the OBV. You should come here, too. Come by the Zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village for some free hash hole vouchers from Early Bird.
Come say hi.
Early Bird brunch, not your everyday brunch. Every day, and 1620 The Zone is joined today and powered by the Sador Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next. What we are doing next is complimenting a Milwaukee Brewer, which I do not like to do, but I want you to
World
think about
Series champions, the Milwaukee Brewers.
I want you to think about the best athlete performance you've ever seen in person, because Jacob Mizorowski yesterday probably provided that to a lot of Milwaukee Brewer fans yesterday. We will discuss coming up next here on Middays with Matt. All right, we're not talking about Jacob Mizorowski. This is absolutely ridiculous what has just occurred off air. This is no. First off, this special edition of Middays with Matt here at the Omaha Baseball Village is powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and Children's Nebraska. Hour 1 is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. All right, let's talk about, there are a lot of people who watch my show and listen to the show, who listen to a lot of it, but then they love to make fun of me and they love to have, negative comments about me. Shout out John with an N. Another one of those people is Chris, okay, in our YouTube comments. He's got a Detroit Tigers logo on there.
They lost 3-2 to the Guardians.
That's all you need to know about Chris. He's a Tigers fan, right?
Okay.
Take that as you will. He writes, saw McMaster at the CWS yesterday. Shorter than I expected. Okay, now here's the thing. I take that as a compliment. The fact that people might think I'm tall by how I present myself, all right, I'll take that. Now, first off, I do want to say this. I'm not 5'6". I'm not 5'4". I am 5 feet 11 inches, okay? Go to my doctor, go to the tape measure, get a tape measure out right now. If you were to measure me, I would be 5'11", all right? I'm nearly 6 feet tall.
I assume platforms are involved here.
There are soles in these shoes, but even if I took the soles out, I still would be 5'11".
Okay.
You're telling me off air that you don't even think that 5 feet 11 exists.
I think 5'10" is a stretch.
This is crazy. No shoes on. I'm 5'10.5". With shoes on, I am 5'11".
All right.
Look, I'm sorry I wasn't born, corn-fed, Columbus, Nebraska, 6'3".
That has nothing to do with any of it.
Base.
I am not 6'3". I wish I was 6'3". It'd be better. Just be a little bit taller would be nice.
You're talking to me. You're talking to the guy who's 5'11" and how it would be
sure,
nice
but
to be
you
a
were
little bit
short
taller.
your entire life. What happened is I grew up
I'm not
tall.
short. I am not a short human. Get that out of your repertoire. Get
Josh,
that out of your
tall?
vernacular. No, I am average height. I am literally the average male height is 5 feet 10 inches. Or it might be 5'9". I'm 2 inches above that.
I don't know.
I don't claim to be tall. I'm certainly not short. I am not a short human.
You think you're taller than Proudhon?
Yeah, Proudhon. I'm taller than Proudhon. Chris,
yeah, when you're
up
standing
here.
on the stage.
Stand up here. I'm taller than you. Yeah, I'm handily taller than you. I'm looking right at your forehead.
Okay, Chris, you're how tall?
How tall are you, Chris? You got nice.
I used to be 5'11".
You got nice blue eyes. I never realized that. Well, because we're measuring each other. I never realized Proudhon's got good eyes.
Proudhon says he's 5'11".
Those look like contacts. Those are like deep ocean hazel eyes. You're 5'10", and I'm easily taller than him. My license says that I am 5'10". The weight is wrong. It says I'm 185 pounds. That is not correct. That is not correct at all.
Hold up.
Wait.
How much you weigh?
185. What? How bad did you lie on yours? You're 185 too? That's crazy. Are you have what color are your eyes on there too? We might have the same ID. Are you brown eyes, brown hair?
What we have here are two people that claim to be 5'10" based off of driver's license, and acknowledging that their weight is nowhere close on the driver's license.
I'll tell you this right now. There are two men who claim to be 5'10", 185. These are not two men who are 5'10", 185.
We're lying about our weight, but please believe us about our height.
That's my takeaway from this.
Honestly, they just took my info
People
from my
under
Illinois
6
license.
foot tall claim to be taller than they are all the time.
We are easily both over, like combined weight over 400 pounds, and we're 185 on our.
We've done the segment on 1620 The Zone before that no human being on planet Earth is 5'11".
I've heard you do this segment.
I know I've talked about it, but I literally am. Like if you were, but here's the thing: if most people were to ask me how tall I am, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm 5'10" without shoes on." Is typically what I would say.
Okay,
you could put that together.
Here's what we're gonna do: when we get done with College World Series, and we go back to the studios. There is the old school doctor's office weight thing.
Okay.
I think it's in.
Oh, we
whose
have
office
that.
is that? That's
by Dan's office.
Yeah,
I know the
Yes.
old. Someone used to.
Yes.
Be there. Yeah.
Let's do an official weigh-in.
Yeah.
With a medical grade scale.
Yes. Yes. No,
and we will do this.
This will be a wake-up call for me because I'm going to be real with you. I've kind of been in denial of what my true weight is.
1620 the weight loss challenge. Can we do this?
We can. Let's do it.
I mean, low-key, we have been doing this. Josh
looks amazing.
Josh looks incredible. Josh lost a lot of weight. When I was hosting with Gary had lost like 90 pounds when I was hosting.
Are we
with him.
still running ads for like Ozempic? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm on one of the of Ozempic. Yeah.
You know,
We built this city. That someone's got to do that for like one of those. Cole Benfie's a new one that I see a lot. The roommate Dan and I like make jokes about those commercials about all the people dancing in the supermarket. You know,
see, now
the
my
little-
algorithm's going to be messed up, and I'm
Yeah.
going to get ads for all these
the
random
little
things.
pill with the big story to tell. And then there's the other one that's like.
Never heard that one.
No, I know all of them.
I don't know what you're watching, but that is not.
I
on my
might be
television.
the only one that during the commercials for football season I lock in as to what I'm watching. You know, I
The
like
commercials?
that.
You don't watch
Yeah.
the games?
No, this tracks. You've heard his football opinions. This tracks.
Oh, get out of here! I'm the one who bet the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, Mike Schaefer, and you told me I was a madman. You made fun of my Sam Darnold takes.
This is not true. As the one guy who likes Sam Darnold.
That is not true. It was Connor Happer
Yeah,
who
see?
called me an idiot for believing in Sam Darnold, and
Yeah,
I
you're the
was
second
not
guy.
an idiot.
No. I believed in Sam Darnold. I was the idiot that believed in him.
Okay, Platcat writes in the YouTube chat, I will bring a tape measure down today if we really want to play this out. That's kind of
I would love
sounds
to see the sub 6 foot people really.
If
You
the
know,
sub
figure
6 foot people. That sounds like a slur.
It is. I'm going to start calling you sub 6.
hold on,
You
is this going to be
sub-sixer?
measured standing on the riser or?
I don't
From
care
the
what you
ground.
stand on. Like it doesn't. It just reaffirms. There's all these people that aren't 6 foot that claim to be 5'11", 5'10", and they're probably closer to 5'8" or 5'9", and they just don't want to acknowledge.
Sindelar writes in, I just called McMaster's.
There's something about having that extra digit in there that makes people feel better.
But I'm telling you a fact. Like in
A
shoes,
fact or a mat fact?
In
No.
shoes?
In shoes, I'm 5'11". In no shoes, I'm 5'10.5". That is a thing.
Who?
That's why I
Okay.
don't typically say I'm 5'11", but he said 5'11" people don't exist.
Let's
I
break
am
this down.
5'11".
10 and a half. That doesn't exist.
That does exist.
On your ID, if you went in there and you're like, hi, I'm 5'10 and a half, they're
What-
going to say,
what-
sir,
you saw
pick one.
and I picked 5'10". That's what I picked. Because there's a part of me that agrees with this, but when he says there's no such thing as 5'11", and I'm the walking
Technically,
proof
I
of
didn't
that.
say it. You guys talked about it on your show.
We did. I once again, I never really say I'm 5'11", but you said that 5'11" people don't exist, and that's not true because I am one of those people.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I don't really go around touting I'm 5'11" until you said that they don't exist. I'm here. I exist.
Again, I didn't say that they don't exist. That was you on your own show.
No, you
With
said
your
during this
producer.
show they don't exist.
No, I said that you're not 5'11". That's what I said. And then you got really mad, as what normally happens.
Speaking
and
of
here
tall
we are.
people,
Connor Happer.
here's Connor Happer.
Sindelar goes, I just called Matt McMaster's doctor, and she told me he's actually 5'7" and has an ant colony living in his digestive tract.
What?
I don't really know what that means. Sindelar
Well,
goes, day 2 of Mick content. Schaefer needs to take this thing over.
I was about to ask. Is it
I'm
time for a
loving
break?
this. This is great. I
It
sit here.
is time for a break.
Okay.
The 16th one of the Zone Hydration sponsor. Nothing says happy birthday, America, like an ice cold Coca-Cola. This summer, pick up a Coca-Cola and drink in America's 250th. Save the date also for Friday Night Live at the Mat. Friday, June 19th, next Friday, Pet Rock plays live at the OBB for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the Mat. All right, we talked about height last segment. Next segment, we'll talk about an incredible performance from Jacob Mizorowski and ask the question of Mike Schaefer, what is the best in-person athletic performance you have ever seen? One of mine happened at that building over there at the CHI Health Center. We'll talk about that here on the 1620 of the Zone Radio Network. No, it wasn't Kalkbrenner. Special edition of Middays with Matt here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Matt McMaster joined by Mike Schaefer and Josh Hodson. Shout out to our guy Jake Janisek back on the 50th and Dodge Studios. We are joined, we're not joined by, but Connor Happer is here in front of our booth. He's
we could be joined. Do you want to wear a headset?
Yeah, put on a headset. Before we get to our impromptu Connor Happer interview, we want to let you know that this special edition of Middays with Matt is powered by Axis Bank, here for a reason, yours, and also by Children's Nebraska. Hour 2 of the special edition of Middays with Matt is presented by Nebraska Medicine, Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Centers. Get a second opinion at nebraskamed.com/cancer. We are joined by one of the voices of the College World Series who was on the call for two very thrilling games yesterday between North Carolina, Ole Miss, and Troy and West Virginia. Connor Happer of the Happer and Schaefer Show joins us here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Hap, how are you, buddy?
Hi, guys.
Great to hear from you.
Good. Great to see you guys. You look very purple today.
Thank you. I'm very purpley.
Yeah.
I felt purple.
Are you a Rockies guy?
No, but I had the sick Rockies hat, and I was telling the guys before we got on the air, I bought it when I had a lot of hair on my head, and then I cut all my hair.
Yeah, it's loose.
And it was loose. So I haven't been able to wear it, but now my hair is back, and so I can wear this hat more often.
Congrats.
Schaefer,
enjoy it while you got it.
Seriously, Schaefer also mentioned that he just sees the same 6 hats that I wear all the time, and I kind of wanted to mix it up for him. So this is one of my favorite hats. It actually's got
I do appreciate that.
It's got a cool little 25-year anniversary.
You talk about all your hats, but you really only wear the same hat.
I really do. I mean, there are hats that are there just for the
This
hat
is Happer,
wall.
too. Happer has like 3 hats that he rotates in and out.
Yeah,
But I have a lot more.
But I love putting them. I hang them up on my wall, and I like seeing the variation on the wall.
It's a decoration.
Exactly. But there are some I would never wear. There are some I will never be seen out in public with.
Chris Brudon came by and gave me a Runza bucket hat yesterday. A
Really?
red Runza bucket
Yeah,
hat.
I saw that.
I go, I don't think I'll probably am going to wear this, but thank you. I appreciate
Do you think
that.
we could do a show where you wear your red Runza bucket hat and I wear my red Pizza Hut bucket hat, and we're the Bucket Boys?
Definitely.
Well, we could get Joey. We can get like a Raising Cane's bucket hat. for
California
Joey.
Pizza Kitchen bucket hat for Joey.
Now we're talking.
What's his beef with California?
Nobody
pizza?
understands it.
Yeah.
Every
I
time
just
he's on
think he
Twitter,
doesn't. I just think he doesn't like pizza or something. I
That
don't
guy,
know.
well, he doesn't like anything. Doesn't like tea. He doesn't like coffee. He doesn't like the Bears. Like, pick a slant.
It's one thing that he doesn't like these things, but I always find it funny that he seems to like have grudges with all of these items.
He wants
you
to
know?
fight ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. He says he follows Josh Hodson,
Is he-
says I have teeth.
Is he lactose intolerant? He looks like a man who's lactose intolerant.
He's lactose. And he's lactose.
What does that mean?
That's what you just said.
It's the way you said the word.
Lactose intolerant.
Your S's
There's no
sometimes
T.
turn into
I'm not
T's,
saying a
and-
T.
There's no it's lactose
Sorry.
intolerant.
Lactose
Yeah.
intolerant.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry. You guys suck. You
He
guys are
lacks-
like my speech therapist back in
No,
third grade.
no.
She clearly failed, by the way. Do you know who's on the hot seat? My speech therapist from second grade.
That's right.
I forget her name. I
Call
think it
her
was
up.
Miss Shillington or
Say,
something
you
You
like
probably would have
that.
pronounced it
She
right
did
anyway.
not. Seriously. Funny enough, her name begins with an S, which is the one thing she couldn't fix.
She's probably like, cool. I got a sports talk radio host. Like that's a nice little thing, right?
Yeah, but then she listened
Imagine
to
if
me
she
and
hadn't
goes,
worked with you, what you would be doing, right?
God, you mean I already
You'd be on the
mispronounced
grounds
all the
crew at
words.
Soldier Field.
Wow. Well, in Hammond, Indiana, at the wasteland, breathing
Well,
all
they're
the
not
air
there
from the
yet.
smokestack.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for the Bears to move to Hammond.
So, Haber, I want to talk about yesterday's game a little bit.
Okay.
The second game, that was an excellent for about, 5, kind of similar to a little bit Nebraska Ole Miss, like an excellent pitching performance between both starters with Taylor Rabe and,
Jason DeCaro.
DeCaro.
Mhm.
What were you kind of seeing that they were giving so many problems, especially
I know.
with Ole Miss giving North Carolina all those problems
I don't-
early in the game?
I don't know if Rabe like really had his stuff, but I think a lot of the credit goes to the North Carolina offense. They were just, great pitches. We're talking about like 98 at the letters, and they were just laying off it, spitting on it all night long. And so they just extended those at bats, and
Or they were wasting a lot of his
just
better
foul
pitches.
balls, tons
'Cause
of
you were
foul
talking
balls.
about that early in the game.
And then it just, it got to the point where they grinded him down and got in the bullpen, which is not easy against Ole Miss considering they have a couple of bullpen aces that they use, and they finally got the big hit to blow it open in the 8th, the 3-run home run. But I was really impressed with North Carolina's offense, which is basically rebuilt from, guys who played at lower levels last year, George Mason and North Dakota State. Like, those are two of their best hitters.
Is it weird if one of my takeaways from yesterday is just how valuable it is in the transfer portal to go find some of those guys in smaller conferences?
Totally.
John Smith was at Georgia Southern, hammering home runs. West Virginia calls him up.
Uh-huh.
He's the most dangerous hitter in their lineup.
They have a bunch of D2 guys,
Yep.
And there's JUCO guys all across the field, and then Schaffner at North Dakota State, who I didn't know if he would translate, but he's hit 360 this year.
He's one of those guys spoiling a lot of pitches.
And then Hull, who was at George Mason last year for North Carolina. I mean, he's a dude. Like, I don't know how he was at George.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's at George Mason.
It is quite remarkable. Like, other than football, you go across a lot of other sports, and there has been a lot of found value in those smaller schools,
Yep.
whether it be in baseball, but basketball too. Like, Iowa makes the Elite Eight. They basically had the entire Missouri State roster from 2 years ago playing on that team.
There's good baseball players everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
great point.
And it's just
Well, like,
how does it translate?
Xavier does that too, where they just grab a bunch of D2, D3 guys, right?
UConn
UConn
is the big D2 school, and then so yeah, a lot of those lower programs from the mid to low major conferences will lose their best 2 or 3 guys, and then they'll just keep growing them.
Yeah.
So there's so many different. Schaefer, you and I talked about this last week, but there's just
a lot of ways to get to your roster.
So many different ways to build it. It's just, what is your strength? North Carolina is, they have all of their pitching was homegrown, but basically none of their lineup right now is homegrown. That hasn't always been that way for them, but you just go with it and you see what you can build on a year-to-year basis.
I think that when we talk about the transfer portal, we get into a lot of the negative talk, which I think stems from college football. Like, I think college football is a source of a lot of the negativity around the transfer portal. But I think if you look across all the sports, baseball, basketball, there's a lot of positive stories that come from it in terms of smaller school guys getting onto big stages that you probably wouldn't previously been on before.
Well, and baseball is unique where, you're in school. If you don't go pro at a high school, you're in there for 3 years, no matter what. So you have to make the best out of your 3 years, or, you maybe get drafted late in that 3rd year and then end up somewhere big in your 4th year. And then all of a sudden you're like a top 3 round pick the next year. So baseball, I think, is in a really good spot where it's holding guys because the draft is smaller and there's not like a whole lot of big money for individual players, right? So it doesn't become this huge thing. Now, the rosters, as we just talked about, still get depleted from the lower levels, but there's just so many guys.
It's almost as if, and you guys can tinker with this take a little bit, but like, it's almost as if the big spending on football has kind of created salary caps for a bunch of other sports. Where now I think there's some exceptions to the rule, like Kentucky can spend $20 million on a basketball roster. Louisville can spend $10 million plus on a basketball roster. But it's almost as if like there's some constraints on other sports across college that it's made the markets more competitive.
It's just more as to what your NIL operation is in that specific sport.
Sure.
And with baseball,
it's
a
individual
lot of
sport.
Don't have like a ton of money to be able to invest.
But
I thought it would be that way with rev share, but it's not only rev share, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the whole
Nothing
picture.
is ever what you expect it to be.
That's a good point. Well, we expect this day to be pretty entertaining. It's SEC day.
Do we have time for a real quick one?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm setting up a next question.
Well, you've asked 3 in a row. I wanted to.
Well, I was setting up the day, and you can ask the question.
So it's the kind of the star power day of the first 2 days of the College World Series. Who are you most excited to see either at the dish or on the mound today?
Oh, man. Daniel Jackson, Aiden Robbins.
Your guy from Alabama, LeBron.
Justin LeBron. Yeah, that's a good one. Tyler Fay, the local guy. He'll probably start for Alabama today. And there's a few guys. Taki from Oklahoma, who's just been on an absolute rager throughout the postseason. I mean, yeah. Usually it's funny because the stars end up being stars almost every time, and guys who have hit in the postseason, they'll just keep hitting here. Yesterday was so cool because it just came down to, a few aggressive plays, taking an extra base here and there. I thought it was just, I said this a lot probably, but I was just really good college baseball yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Like if you screw up, they're going to take an extra base on you. And, that started in the first inning of the first game.
Well, the stealing of home, but another sort of underrated moment yesterday was on a 3-0 pitch. It was Judd Uttermark He was like, you know what? You're not going to get me over fastball. We have a chance to jump on this and break this back
against a 17-year-old freshman.
Yeah,
you know,
clearly had I wasn't watching. I was listening to you and John on the call during this. Clearly nervy on those first few pitches,
a little bit.
and then he's like, "All right, 3-0. He's not going to swing."
Yep.
And
I'm gonna lay one over and get back in the strike
not
zone. No, Unimark is a beast. Those Ole Miss guys are gigantic. And if I was 18 years old and I was supposed to be pitching in high school right now, I'd be like, "Whoa, what is going? But he was good. Glauber came back and he was good in the next inning.
Yep.
So that guy's a stud.
Georgia and Texas. I mean, is this kind of in your eyes? Whoever wins this game is definitely the favorite to make it out of their bracket, or are we not giving Oklahoma and Alabama enough credit?
I definitely wouldn't sleep on those two. I mean, I've talked a lot about Oklahoma in this postseason. They might not have the gaudy stats or anything like that, but they have some arms who are young and are really good, and I think are ready to shine on this stage. And they play a great brand of baseball.
Yeah.
They're so much fun to watch. Nobody thought they were going to go to the championship 4 years ago, and they ended up going to the championship game and pushing Ole Miss all the way to I guess it was just 2 games in the final that year. But I wouldn't sleep on either of those two teams. It's going to come down to little stuff like that, and then we'll see. The park factors always matter too for home run hitting teams.
It really
so
is.
I don't know what it's going to look like today, but
Georgia is though a team where it's like if you see some of their home runs, I mean, it's not because they're in a small.
It is
ballpark.
not.
I mean, they mash the ball.
But they have to mash. They kind of have to. I mean, they have a lot of different things they could do, but they're going to need to hit home runs and into the gaps.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
You got one more question for your co-host that you missed
No, I
so
mean
much?
the biggest one is I just kind of wanted to see because it felt like it split into 2 different days. Where yesterday, obviously those teams have stars, but today it's kind of your bigger future of Major League Baseball on display.
Well, if anything, I mean, yesterday I thought was so good, just in the quality of baseball that was played. So maybe it has a problem living up to it today because we have such a high expectation, especially for that night game. I think they're both going to be really good again.
Well, you and John were absolutely phenomenal on the call. We were talking
No doubt
about it before you got on.
Josh
the
was
air.
okay.
Shout out to Josh.
Oh, Peterson too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Josh.
That's my guy.
The Roy Williams thing was great.
He did a great job.
I wish we could have got like an audio sample of it or something like that. Like, hey, I don't know how we would have done it, but like to hear Roy Williams say fastball outside or something like like that would have been incredible. How good would that? Roy Williams in the pitch comm is unbelievable. Upstairs, blow him away.
Appreciate you stopping by. Impromptu interview means a lot to us. Continue to kill it. You were awesome yesterday.
Wow, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Come by the Zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from 10 and Wally's. 10 and Wally's, official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating 40 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson and the Old Market, Omaha. 1620 The Zone is joined by and powered by today Sedora Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next. What we do next, we will finally get to that Jacob Mizorowski thing here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Special edition of Middays with Matt here at the Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours and Children's Nebraska. Hour 2 presented by Nebraska Medicine, Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Centers. Get a second opinion at nebraskamed.com/cancer. Mike Schaefer's favorite baseball team, the Milwaukee Brewers, the World Series champions of 1986.
Just a prediction. A prediction.
Had a hell of a day yesterday for a Milwaukee Brewers pitcher, Jacob Mizorowski. Under 100 pitches, 15 strikeouts, only a one. It was a one hitter, but he faced the lineup in order.
Sure.
Right. He set him down like he faced, just 27 batters, but he did give up one hit. I believe that's called a Maddox, by the way.
No.
What is a Maddox? Everyone's talking about a Maddox.
He needed to throw a complete game, no runs, under 100 pitches is
a Maddox. Okay.
He didn't throw a complete game. He threw 8 innings.
Okay, good to know. But
and then if he faced a minimum of 8 innings, it would have been 24 batters, not 27.
That's incredible. So thank you for clarifying that. An incredible performance yesterday from Jacob Mizorowski. Yeah. Everybody was freaking out about it. It was a very unprecedented performance that he had. So it begged the question, Mike Schaefer, what is the greatest in-person athletic performance you have ever seen?
Greatest in-person athletic performance. I was there for Sue's performance in 2009 against Texas when he just completely and utterly mauled their offensive line and Colt McCoy all night long. The only thing short that he didn't do in that game was block the kick at the very end that would have won it for Nebraska. So that one kind of always comes to mind for me. I was at a random NBA game where I watched Vince Carter drop like 41 and just basically like an old Vince Carter playing for the Nets.
Yeah.
But, what's crazy is it felt like an old Vince Carter and then he would go on to play like another 10 years. So, like he played in the league a long time.
He was in he had that stint with the Kings. He had a stint with the Grizzlies was before all of that, but then he also was with the Hawks for a little bit too at the very end. He was just around for forever, which is funny. Like a lot of younger kids like my age saw the old Vince Carter and then had to get reminded about what he was like back when he was in Toronto. I think mine easily by far would have to be when I was at the ripe age of 9 years old. I went to Notre Dame Stadium. And Denard Robinson and the Michigan Wolverines defeated Notre Dame 28-24. I have the box score here in front of me. I remember it being great. I haven't looked at these stats in a while. Denard Robinson had 244 yards passing, 1 touchdown, with 258 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. His average yards per carry was 9.2 against the Fighting Irish that day. I was seated in the south end zone of Notre Dame Stadium. And it was like a crappy weather day. Like it was a little foggy. It was a little cloudy. Like there were moments where it was kind of tough to see the action, but it was just like, you saw this guy with that Wolverine helmet on and you saw the helmet just dashing, like darting around the field, just making everybody miss. And it was absolutely incredible. And then you got to get reminded, that's why that guy was the cover of NCAA 14. The video game, because Denard Robinson was absolutely incredible.
That's a good one. That actually reminded me of Roy Halou ran for like 300 yards against Missouri in 2010.
Everybody always talks about that is the game outside of the national championship games and all that stuff. The Roy Halou Missouri game gets mentioned so much to me about just he scored again. Well, it's I
would have thought it would have been a random Eric Crouch game or something like that.
Well, Jimmy, who was our former producer on the morning show. Jimmy Chavez. He was a Kansas fan, and he hated Missouri. So he loved bringing up the fact that Roy Halou just ran all over Missouri. So,
yeah, that one was that was great. Like, I've seen some incredible Levante David performances where the really famous Ohio State game where he rips the ball out of Braxton Miller's hands and it kind of helps turn it around for Nebraska. In 2011, he had some games where there's just individual moments of his that stand out, but then you actually look at the stat line, you have 21 tackles and things like that. Yeah. So he comes to mind. Like Randy Gregory would have moments like that too. From the football perspective.
Well, I guess the most.
I saw Barricade Buchengel triple double.
Oh, you were at that game?
They played North Dakota.
I would say that the best, and this is kind of sad, but this is the era of Nebraska football that I've I want to say grown up in, but I've been brought up in like being a student. The best in-person performance I've seen from Nebraska football was Samori Torre's game against Ohio State. And they lost that game, but he had like over 100
I was
yards.
trying to think if you would have seen a better Trey Palmer performance, but
Like,
his Purdue one was on the road.
And then I actually saw the worst parts of the Trey Palmer season because the games that I went to were the ones where he got locked down against Minnesota and then got locked up by Illinois' defense. That was the game that kind of changed everything that season with Casey Thompson getting hurt.
Yeah, that's where if Ramir Johnson catches that wobbly pass from Casey Thompson, Casey Thompson doesn't get hurt. Maybe they beat Illinois.
Maybe they beat Minnesota. That? Maybe they end up winning that Minnesota game a week later. Like that's another.
They should have won that game.
Well, it's one of those things too, where it's like if they end up winning those two games, is Mickey Joseph your head coach? You know, like do they?
It's
like
a big what if?
Seriously, it's not that big of a what if at all. I don't think that was going to happen. But anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, unfortunately, I have not had the pleasure of watching incredible, notable
baseball performances. Like I feel like I saw someone hit for the cycle, but I can't remember who it was.
My dad was at the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout game.
That's incredible. That's one of his
favorites he talks about.
I
have an individual. Yeah. Well, I saw Albert Pujols in 2010 hit 3 home runs against the Chicago Cubs.
That's pretty. That stands out.
I think that is the best. Pretty good. But here's the best part. The best part of that Albert Pujols performance was not. It was not the 3 home runs in the game. It was the batting practice that he was taking, where he was just launching ball after ball after ball after ball onto Waveland. It was like the crack of the bat of Albert Pujols' bat was it's a noise I will never forget. It was one of my first Cubs games too. Like I think I was like single digit Cubs games at that point in my life. So like that was a core memory. And like Ryan Dempster was throwing that day.
Ryan Dempster.
And Dempster just like his idea was, okay, my breaking stuff is not going to do anything against this guy, but I have a 96 mile an hour fastball. I'm just going to throw that every time. And Pujols was all over it every at bat. That was my best. That's probably my best baseball one that I've seen.
Okay.
You haven't seen a remarkable baseball performance? That's
shocking
to me.
I've been to a lot of baseball games, and it's like I've seen, Rafael Furcal hit a home run from both sides of the plate.
Great name.
Things like that. But I don't I guess some of it is you see this stuff.
Good to see ya.
Is it like so transcendent that it stands out? I don't know. Like it's I haven't seen a no hitter or I don't know that I've seen a 3 home run game. I've seen, like I said, multiple 2-run homer games, whatever, 2 home run games.
I think Javi Baez had 3 home runs in a 2017 NLC. He at least got 2 home runs in the 2017 NLCS game. I don't know if it was 3 home runs.
You went to an NLCS game?
I've been to multiple NLCS games.
Wow. For a guy who doesn't like baseball or claims he doesn't like baseball.
All right.
You went to a lot of...
It's not that I don't like baseball. I'm cool with baseball. I just don't love baseball to the point that everybody else on this station outside of Peterson loves baseball. You love baseball. Happer loves baseball. Bishop loves baseball. Josh Hodson loves baseball. I'm not.
Grimm loves baseball.
Who?
Nick Grimm loves baseball.
He loves baseball. I'm just like
Joey loves baseball the least.
I'm just not I don't love it. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. But like I grew up 20 minutes away from Wrigley Field. The Cubs were a very big deal growing up. And then I moved away from Chicago. And I think I found out that if I'm not in close proximity to the Cubs, I don't care as much.
You're in close proximity to a stadium now.
What do you mean, the Charles Schwab Field?
Yeah.
I went to like 4 Creighton baseball games this year. There were moments where you're like, why was Matt at a Creighton
I know. I was
game?
confused. I was worried for your health.
I like going and just sitting down and put a dip in. You have a good time. You have a drink or two. And then I like going to some local establishments
you and
around
your
here
dips.
after. Well, at baseball games, yes. I don't know. I'm a weird man. You've always said this about me.
Very confused.
You've always been very confused of the things that I do. I like to dip at a baseball game. I'm very big fan of that.
Lots of people do, but it's like I don't understand. Do you have to be at a baseball game to do this? Is that the rule?
I mean, I'm kind of afraid that if I were not at a baseball game, it would become a habit. It would become a consistent thing I would do. And
you're protecting yourself from yourself.
A little bit, yeah, 1,000,000%. You have to do that when you're me.
Yeah,
you have to set some limits. But I do enjoy going. I like going to a baseball game more than watching a baseball game on TV. If if you were to ask me, do you want to go to this football game or watch this football game on the television? I would tell you I want to watch the football game on the television.
Okay.
If you were to tell me, do you want to go to a baseball game or watch a baseball game on TV? I would rather
Baseball's
go
a
to
more
the baseball
enjoyable
game.
live sport
I
experience than
think
football.
1,000,000%.
I think, honestly, football might be the lowest for the live sport experience because it's maybe the best of the television experience.
You know what? I mean, the football stadiums I go to have terrible Wi-Fi, so it's hard to like connect with the outside world when you're at a football game, and I feel like that doesn't exist with the two other sports as much. That's a factor in there for me.
Well, so, like, if you were ranking these, I think hockey has my favorite in-person viewing experience on average.
Ooh, in person,
yeah.
1,000,000%.
Like the
Without
energy
a doubt.
and all of it, like it doesn't translate on TV in the same way.
I would tell people, if you are going to if you're in Chicago and you want to go to a sporting event, go to a Blackhawks game. That would be my number one recommendation. Go to a Hawks game. That's the best.
Yeah, it's to me, it's the best. And then I'd probably go baseball because of the relaxed nature of it. Like it's more, baseball's like paying a big cover charge to go to a bar.
I love
and
that.
And then the bar is where they're playing sports. And then you can get up and walk around and do whatever you want.
There are honestly depends on what time you're at Wrigley Field,
you're
but
like
it turns into
the
cheapest bar at Wrigley sometimes. You know,
and
with probably the cheapest cover.
So
if the Cubs are bad,
like I would put that too. Basketball's third, and then I think football's pretty clearly
your list is my list.
Yeah,
your list is you're spot on. I just don't like you don't have the downtime you do in baseball or like the casual viewing you can have in baseball.
I have caveats for this. For 14 years, I basically was at every Nebraska football home game and the majority of the away games. And so, like, when it comes to Nebraska, I'm having a really tough time watching it on television.
Sure.
Because the experience sucks. You know, like the replay, Nebraska being bad, so they get bad broadcasters.
Yeah.
Bad production trucks.
Big time.
No one knows how to do a replay.
Yeah.
Nobody knows when to do a replay.
You keep going.
Again, I tend to tune out when I think the announcing is bad, but it can be so bad that it's disruptive.
They're bringing on Eddie George like it's a spring game when they're playing Ohio State.
I got so used to sitting up, and this is first world problems, I understand it, so nobody feel bad for me. I got so used to sitting up high and seeing the whole field and watching something develop that when I can't do that, it makes me antsy. Now, if you go to Sunday and I'm watching the NFL experience, one, they're better at everything they do,
1,000,000%.
generally. But two, I'm so used to that experience that if you take me from that and put me in Vikings game or whatever NFL game,
it boosts it up.
It's like a weird, I don't know, I could be at home and sort of get a better broadcast experience, and I could see what's happening in every other game.
1,000,000%.
So it's such a weird dichotomy.
I'll say this too, though, to add to, because I agree with everything you said there, to add to that as well, the nature of who I am. When I go to a baseball game, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time, right? You have that kind of bar experience.
Sure, yeah.
When I go to a football game, because I'm so invested in Nebraska football or the Bears, I'm stressed.
Yeah, I don't.
I am nervous. I'm not having a good time.
I would say I have the same general reaction.
Yeah, I'm not am I at a baseball game? I'm like, let's have a beer. Let's have a good time. Let's walk around. When I'm at a football game, I'm like, why are they doing this? And also, too, I'm watching bad football. So I'm really upset.
What you're also describing is whenever I'm invited to watch football somewhere, I notice that it's never a particularly chill time for me.
Never.
Unless it's I'm going and I'm watching Sunday Ticket somewhere and my team isn't playing.
Then
it's a very chill experience.
You've watched a Bears game with me.
Yeah, it was great. You were put your head in the couch. You were just distraught. They lost to Snoop Huntley and the Ravens.
All right, we don't have to talk about it. Come by the zone booth inside Omaha.
I think Caleb Williams
Village.
said a 44% completion percentage.
Come by the zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village for some free hash hole vouchers from Early Bird. Early Bird brunch, not your everyday brunch, every day. And save the date for Friday night live at the mat, Friday, June 19th. Pet Rock plays live at the OBV for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the mat. Coming up next, we have Monica from Pioneer Fit joining us. It's going to be a great time talking about one of the better stands here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Coming up next on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Special edition here of Middays with Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Axis Bank, here for a reason, yours, and by Children's in Nebraska. Hour 2 was presented by Nebraska Medicine, Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Centers. Get a second opinion at nebraskamed.com/cancer. Special edition of Middays with Matt means special guests. We bring on Monica from Pioneer Fit. Now, you've brought us these awesome belts here from Pioneer Fit. This is what you guys make. But at the same time, are you selling hats and shirts as well over there?
We do have hats and shirts.
But belts is the name of the game for Pioneer Fit. 47 years.
Yes, sir.
You've had the business, started in Sidney, Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
Tell us your story. I mean, these are incredible things that you brought us here.
So it's really kind of funny. My grandfather started the business 47 years ago in Sidney, Nebraska. My dad took it over, moved it to Texas. My brother runs it now.
Mm-hmm.
We just got into baseball 2 years ago.
Wow.
And it has taken off kind of like wildfire. We have hundreds of MLB players, dozens of colleges, lots of, over 900 MILB, MLB, and coaches wearing the belts now.
Wow.
This is our first year here, and the goal was if the big guys wear it, then the little guys will wear it. So here we are.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to go about it. Matt, you're familiar with the phrase "look good, play good."
That's
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
Like you're telling me these guys at Alabama aren't playing better when they have
right.
Or at Oklahoma.
Right.
Look at that.
It's going to be a belt off today.
Yes.
It really will. So you did tell me the Oklahoma and Alabama ones, they aren't for sale, right?
They're not.
So these are just for display, but you brought us this one too. And here's the thing, you were telling me that umpires are wearing them and coaches and recruiting are wearing them.
Yes.
This also just looks like a belt I would wear
It
as
is.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, casual fit. What came, 2 years ago you started in baseball. What was the inspiration to be like, hey, we want to be a baseball brand now too?
Well, so we make custom weightlifting belts, and we
wow.
do all sorts of crazy stuff with it. Well, baseball players kind of crazy. They like their drip, right? So we have a guy that works for us that played baseball, and he was like, why don't we just make these weightlifting belts smaller? And right, we can make them crazy. And all of a sudden, we had MLB players reaching out to us on Instagram, and they're like, "Hey, can we get this? Can we?" And I'm, sure, yeah, that'll work. And it just kind of took off. So it was kind of by accident, kind of. Well, I don't know. We'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Do you have a favorite design that you guys have done so far, or like an inscription or anything like that has really stood out? That's memorable.
We made a belt that has a Spotify code on it that you scan that will play a song.
Really?
That is cool.
So we also made a belt that has a QR code on it for Father's Day that you scan it, and it has a recording of the players' kids saying Happy Father's Day.
Wow.
So yeah, we can do some wild and crazy stuff.
That is a heck of a Father's Day gift.
Yeah.
So you brought us this belt. Now I
Yes.
notice here is that you have pictures on the inside
Yes.
of the belt. So
Yes.
can people, and you're located over towards the entrance, right, of the Omaha Baseball Village.
Correct.
If somebody were buying a belt today, could they have this? Could they walk away with a custom one today, or is it just a little bit of a process?
No, it's a little bit of a process because
Okay.
we have to collect all the pictures, get it all put together, get it printed.
Yeah.
But we will take custom belt orders there.
Wow.
What is the turnaround time on a belt like that?
On regularly 2 to 3 weeks. If you get towards spring training,
Amazing.
That's really quick, honestly. I thought it would take a lot longer, if I'm being honest. This is awesome.
during spring training it gets a little hairy because we take a lot of orders during spring training.
Sure.
But right now 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
Monica, this is look, we've had a couple of people come on here and we always love the story. This is a phenomenal story. Seriously. I mean, you've had the business for, close to 5 decades, but now to have this kind of evolution, this new era, if you will, of Pioneer Fit, and you guys seem like you're killing it. So thank you so much for coming on. This is I'm telling you right now, you can tell me it's a baseball or whatever. I would wear this thing anytime. It's
I'll
incredible.
tell you 2 things.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, they're all handmade in Texas.
Wow.
So everything is handmade from a gigantic cow to that belt. And 2, I don't know if you noticed, but we patented this staggered hole design.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got 14 holes every half.
This is not all in the line, Matt.
So if you're a coach,
I know
you're
what
not-
staggered means,
No.
Mike.
It'll also,
Sometimes I'm his interpreter.
I got it. and so it will fit at any time.
Awesome.
And so
Awesome.
one
Absolutely.
of a
And
kind.
you patented it too.
It's patented.
That's a
Oh,
great business
yes.
plan right there. I've watched Shark Tank
Yes,
plenty
that's
of
right.
times in my life. So, Monica from Pioneer Fit, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. An absolutely incredible story
Thank you.
near the entrance of the Omaha Baseball Village.
Yes, sir.
This is what it's all about. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
1620 The Zone's hydration sponsor. Nothing says Happy Birthday America like an ice cold Coca-Cola. This summer, pick up a Coca-Cola and drink in America's 250th. 1620 The Zone is joined today and powered by the Sedora Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next. What we'll do next is we'll give some updates on things happening in sports right now, this very minute. What are the things that are happening? What are the things you might be watching? What are the results that have happened over the last couple of days? And I have some questions about Nebraska sports with Mike Schaefer. And we'll have some special guests from the OBV and elsewhere. They'll be joining us throughout the show, taking you up to 140 here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Special edition of Middays with Matt here at the Omaha Baseball Village. It's powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours at Children's Nebraska. Hour 2 of this special edition of MWM is presented by Nebraska Medicine, Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Centers. Get a second opinion at nebraskamed.com/cancer. Things are picking up here at the Omaha Baseball Village after some weather, inclement weather, hit us in the very, very early morning. Everything's kind of cleared up. It's actually quite a pleasant day. I'm guessing we're in the 70s right now. Somebody did come up to me and thank us for Josh Odson's weather report. Somebody came up and said, Josh Odson, thank you for the great job that you've done for weather. It was very, very helpful. Some Texas fans said that. So congratulations to Josh Odson. Are you on right now? Is your mic on? Here, put on the. No. I think I couldn't hear you. There you go.
We switched locations. I was like, there's something off with this headset.
No, you're good. I couldn't hear you.
We're good here.
You're all good. Josh doing a great job.
Josh did a great job giving us the weather, giving us the report on what to be aware of and what to be concerned with. Now, I don't think we have to worry about it. I don't know what the chances of the stray shower or whatever could be.
The weather report
later,
today from our friend Marty was that we were in a low to moderate, weather kind of cycle. So things should pan out, crossing our fingers here, that nothing doesn't kind of go the other way. But at this point, we're clear. Well, it's not clear skies. It's actually very cloudy.
It's cloudy, but
right
it's
now.
Nice out. We're getting an uptick in people.
I'll tell you right now, we actually didn't
the
finish the Rob Anderson stat from earlier. We just started talking about ESPN after. But he told me that, or he didn't tell me personally. He tweeted out that the 80-degree first pitch for Game 1 was the lowest in terms of heat. It was the lowest temperature since like 2017
for an opening day,
for an opening Game 1. So today will be cooler. It will be, as Josh Odson, the high will be 76 at some point today. So should be fun. Things are picking up here at the Omaha Baseball Village. I've seen a lot of different colleges being represented today. We just saw a guy, he has a South Dakota State.
Go Jacks.
Jackrabbit t-shirt on. We saw somebody earlier have an Illinois polo
and then you ignored the Purdue guy.
Yeah,
and then you got mad at someone who said Rocktober.
I didn't get mad. I just told him I'm not a fan.
You were pretty rude to him.
Like, look at this guy with the Tony Gwynn basketball team.
Yeah, look at that.
This is incredible. We're getting a great mix right now of different colleges and different things that people are rooting for.
Of course, OU playing in it.
We've seen a lot of Oklahoma. I haven't seen too many Alabama baseball fans.
A lot of Boomer Sooner.
Things that are picking up today, more World Cup games are happening. Qatar and Switzerland play. Brazil.
Okay, who do you got? Make predictions on all of these.
I will go with Qatar. Brazil.
You're going with Qatar over Switzerland?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take Switzerland.
Brazil and Morocco are playing. I will take Morocco, actually.
That's not a terrible one. Team. I'll go Brazil.
I believe, that's
a tough group. You have both Brazil and Morocco.
I know that's
Morocco famously finished fourth a couple years ago.
Yeah, and they didn't use I was saying Portugal also had a very good year. I don't know where I'm going here. For whatever reason, I kind of slipped up. But anyway, Morocco did have a good team last year.
Yeah.
Let me look at their group.
So Brazil and Morocco.
Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland.
Okay. Tough break for Scotland.
Scotland and Haiti are playing today.
Haiti just happy to be there.
I'll take Scotland. I think they're in Boston. There was some videos. Yeah, they're in Foxborough. There were some videos of Scottish people discovering Boston and doing fun things in Boston.
Are they looking for haggis in?
No, but they were going down like slides and stuff, and they were like playing.
You don't have slides in Scotland.
They were playing bagpipes, like going down slides in Boston, and then Australia is taking on Turkey.
Okay,
that is America's group.
Yep, that's Group D with Turkey and Australia.
I will go with Australia.
I think you're just picking the teams that you think will have the biggest surprise win.
I'm a ham guy, if I do say so myself.
John or the beer?
No, because Turkey. You get it? Turkey or Australia?
Josh, make him stop.
I'm more of a ham guy.
Make him stop.
You know what? Making me stop is one of the very few failures of Josh Odson's life. I mean, Josh Odson has been able to accomplish many things.
You drove him away from where we're sitting.
I mean, I drive him away from a lot of places. I think the chances of him getting into the Burke High School Hall of Fame have gone down drastically now that I'm host. You know what? I looked into how to recommend people for the Burke High School Hall.
Oh, you were looking to recommend him?
I'm looking at one of my greatest goals. I'm trying to get him a nice little birthday gift for next year. I want that to be him getting into the Burke High School Hall of Fame. If Josh Hodson were to actually make the Burke High School Hall of Fame, it would be one of the bigger events at 1620 The Zone. We would broadcast live from it. It would be a big deal. I know, right? We would broadcast live, and we'll have it in the cafeteria of Burke High School.
Oh, wow. So
right?
we're going on location.
On location.
At Burke
and then,
High School.
And then when all of these 14-year-olds go, who the hell is this schmuck? You know, and then we'll induct them, and then we'll have a live. You know what? We can just have high schoolers come on and give us bombastic takes. That would be a great radio show. Of just
I have a take.
Seriously. And they'll just say, like, you know, LaMelo is LaMelo Ball, not Carmelo Anthony, you know? Like, that would really piss me off.
Some people would say yellow.
You know, Isaiah Thomas is the guy who was on the Celtics and the Kings, not the one who won 2 championships with the Pistons.
Why would that make you mad?
Because Zeke is awesome. And Isaiah Thomas, you know, was one of the worst defensive. The other one, the small one, the tiny one, was one of the worst defensive players ever.
Did you just refer to Isaiah Thomas as Zeke?
Yeah, that's his nickname, Zeke.
Didn't know that was his nickname.
Yeah, that's one of his nicknames.
Okay.
He got in high school. Zeke.
I mean, I have almost very little frame of reference of his career, but you seem to be very impassionate about.
Well, I mean, he's a Chicago high school basketball.
There it is. The Chicago tie.
And my father.
They always don't. I underestimate it every time that. There's something I don't understand.
You're a Hoop Dreams guy. You love Hoop Dreams.
I love Hoop Dreams. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's in Chicago.
Do you know that? I mean, that is inspired. What do you mean? It has a lot to do with the fact that it's in Chicago.
My love of it has nothing to do with the fact that it's in Chicago. I don't.
I mean, I think if you did Hoop Dreams though in San Antonio, Texas, I don't think it'd be as interesting.
Well, I mean, the idea of what they did is what's interesting, and then what fell out with the program and the players and all of it.
But
sure.
I mean, like a lot of what Hoop Dreams is about stems from Isaiah Thomas's success. I mean, he's referenced plenty in Hoop Dreams.
Sure.
I mean, he is the guy that everybody wants to be in Hoop Dreams.
You understand in other communities that they have players that were part of that community that they would aspire to be. It's not just like a Chicago thing. That people in Chicago would want to be like someone from Chicago.
I'm saying that at that point
in Denver, they might want to be like someone who came from Denver.
Chicago was the mecca of like basketball at that time.
In Pittsburgh, they might aspire to be someone
it
that
was them
from Pittsburgh.
And New York in terms of meccas of basketball in the 80s and 90s, especially high school basketball.
Okay.
People in Pittsburgh would probably aspire to be Sidney Crosby.
I would assume.
Or Mario.
But he's not from Pittsburgh, so I don't know if that works in the same way.
But like once you play in a place for 10 years, may as well be a part of that.
That's interesting.
Like there's definitely a threshold.
A lot of these guys don't live there in the off season. They don't,
go
like
to California or Florida.
You know, their taxes aren't being paid to whatever community it is.
You don't think Sidney Crosby's taxpayer dollars are going?
I don't know if
stadium
he's paying property taxes. Well, he probably has an apartment or whatever, a condo.
And he's probably got a house. He's lived there for 20 years.
Yeah, it's just like a part-time house. He might rent it. You never know.
I don't know what part of Canada he's from. I really don't.
I have no idea.
I should know. I feel like a fraud.
It's probably a question that'll be on the Geo Sports thing. Have you done this? The Geo Sports app?
I haven't done the Geo.
It's a geography sports trivia thing.
I was playing Flaggle.
I saw that
on the air. Well, it's the World Cup. I get to use my knowledge of flags.
Okay.
It's actually flag.
Do you have a
tomorrow.
favorite flag besides the city of Chicago's flag?
Hungary's flag.
You like Hungary's flag
like Hungary's
because of the
flag
different colors?
Okay. Blue and white.
I can respect that.
It's pretty cool. Come by the zone booth at the bullpen.
I don't think there's blue in the Hungary flag.
I got to read the hat.
But I don't think there's blue in the flag.
We can look it up. I'm almost positive. It is. Come by the zone booth. Maybe I'm thinking of a different. No, I'm not. I'm thinking of Hungary. Come by the zone booth at the bullpen inside the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a 1620 The Zone prize pack of KC Royals porch tickets and ice cream for a year from the Ted and Wally's 13th and Mike Fahey. 1620 The Zone is joined today and powered by the Sedora Law Group. Your outcome depends on what's next. Let's hit a break, and on the other side, talk a little Nebraska football here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Of Middays with Matt here at the Omaha Baseball Village. It's powered by Axis Bank, here for a reason, yours in Children's, Nebraska. Save the date for Friday Night Live at the Mat, Friday, June 19th. Pet Rock plays live at OBV for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the Mat. Matt McMaster joined by Mike Schaefer here, along with Josh Hodson at the Omaha Baseball Village. Things are, every time we come back for a break, I just feel like there's more and more people walking around here at the OBV. People are spreading their wings, coming in after the inclement weather in the morning has cleared up.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, the people have decided that the weather has passed, and so they're coming out to get down here to the OBV, where there's plenty of things going on. I was in the back probably about 15 minutes ago. We talked with Jeff over at Soldier Sports yesterday. The line to hit for to try to do the 67.67 or whatever it needs to be, or to have the max exit velo. You got dudes standing in that line. They're like, oh, I think I can get this over 100.
Oh, is there grown men now?
There's not, like, either college students or really tall teenage high school students. Big line for that. Right next to them is backyard baseball, where there's little kids that are trying to throw into something I don't know if they win a copy of the game. That'd be cool.
Whoa, wait, you can win a copy of backyard baseball?
Well, I don't know if you can or not. I shouldn't have said that, but there's
Really
some
exciting.
contest going on over there, but
see
you can
that?
see the backyard baseball sign from where we're
Did
sitting.
you see they're coming out with a new backyard
Yeah,
baseball?
no, that's what's back there. They're saying on July 9th.
July 9th it's coming out.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Matt,
What's the
that
problem?
comes out at the same time that college football 27 will come out as well.
I'm
So
not. I don't plan on buying college football 20.
You're out. You're done.
It's not that I'm out. It's not like
You don't want to spend your NIL money.
It's not a referendum on like what they're doing or anything. Like
It's a referendum on you.
It's on kind of my interest.
You did
in
tell me
video
you're just
games.
done on sports games.
I think I have.
You
like,
only like racing games.
I have like 3 video games I play.
Okay.
That's just kind of it. It's not really like, and I don't plan on really changing that. I play NASCAR.
Mhm.
I play Among Us. Do you know what Among Us is?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
familiar.
an interactive game with friends, and I play NBA 2K. And the only reason I'm now like, when I used to play video games, I used to play for me.
Mhm.
Like I was an offline god.
Sure,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
played on my own. Now when I play video games, I have to play with people. Like I don't really play on my own anymore.
You'll get back to being an offline guy, I'm sure, at some point.
That's
I had that transition too, where it was, well, and then some of it when you were younger and your friends, like you had more people that would just come to your house to play video games.
That is the thing, though, where it's like if I want to play video games with somebody, I'm merely 2 texts away
Sure.
from like.
I don't
getting
really
the
have
group
that.
together. Yeah,
I don't really miss that either. Like, it's not like I have to have that, though. Having an online dynasty and playing those games and bragging rights is always pretty fantastic.
I think for me, though, it's like I will always have a 2-week Minecraft thing where it's like for 2 weeks I play Minecraft straight.
Okay.
And then same thing with Skyrim. Like I'll play.
Oh, man.
I'll go on a 2-week Skyrim run
So-
where I'm like I'm a companion and I'm in the Dark Brotherhood and I'm in the Thieves Guild. And
The last time I played Skyrim,
yeah.
I did not start the main storyline, so there's no dragons flying anywhere, so you
There-
can just run around the whole
See,
realm
that's
without.
the most annoying part. It's like some of these dragons, especially the blood dragons in Skyrim.
Sure, yeah.
It's like I'm level 20. Like I'm good. I can't beat you. So it's like I have to like run.
Level 20,
hide,
you got to level up. If you're
and
in
then-
the Companions and the Dark Brotherhood,
Well, right now
Running around
I'm
at
doing
20?
the Thieves Guild right now. I just went to the
fun storyline.
I just got Mercer Frey just betrayed me. He
Oh,
just killed me.
no.
Yeah, he just thought he killed me. So
Wow.
now I'm on the part where you go back and you try and kill Mercer and then take over the Thieves Guild for yourself. That's
There we
the part
go.
I'm at.
Yeah, we're
I'm
just talking about a 15-year-old video game right now.
I mean, that
Which
video,
two follow-ups have already been released
is
since then.
that well? The Elder Scrolls Online was kind of boring.
Yeah,
and
look,
then
I don't care
They
about
did-
those games at all.
they did the reboot.
I think Skyrim's still playable.
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
We've got
National Parks, baby.
National Park Baseball Resort,
Yeah.
a Yeti,
Sasquatch. You're Sasquatch.
Big Timber.
Hell yeah!
All right.
I think they called Billy Butler that at some point in his career.
He was Big Country or Country Breakfast.
Big Timber. Big Timber needs to be more of a base. By the way, let's just be real. Are baseball nicknames the best nicknames out there? Because you can just call a guy Big Something, and that's his nickname forever. You can call a guy Dad,
I mean,
and that we called
the Big Dumper is the best nickname currently. In sports.
David Ortiz was so good at his job that we called him Dad for 20 years. He's Big Poppy, Poppy's father. They called him Father. That's crazy. I would say basketball nicknames probably better though, but we don't have any. Nicknames need to come back.
Yeah, they're just gone. You just get the Y at the end of a shortened last name.
Yeah.
Or you get a K-Rod or a J-Rod or an A-Rod or a whatever.
We used to be way more creative.
You got initials where everything's a KD or an AP or a, whatever.
I mean, now the best new nickname.
I blame your generation.
I blame my generation too.
They aren't keeping the nicknames alive.
I don't disagree with you.
I
don't disagree with you at all.
We're probably not far from people just using like their user tag or something as their name on their sports jersey.
I mean, like back at the glove, Gary Payton.
Yep,
that was awesome. The mailman, Karl Malone.
The Admiral.
The Admiral, David Robinson. The round mound of rebound.
Charles
Barkley. But then, I think it kind of died with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was like the last.
Tim Duncan killed nicknames?
The big fundamental, really?
Yeah, it works really well for him.
Yeah. I don't know. We could have been better. Could have called him. Well, I don't want to call him Dunks.
I think it might have died when Kobe gave himself Mamba and then forced everyone to have to use it. And then we pretend like that's part of his, You're going to learn this over time. I like to poke holes in the Kobe stuff a little bit.
I know.
And I know you're not supposed to, especially because he is unfortunately no longer with us. And you have to just pretend like everything that ever happened.
I keep my Kobe takes to myself.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't hate him.
No.
I find it hysterical when someone's like, yeah, he's the greatest of all time.
Oh,
all right, we'll take that. We'll put that off to the side.
The Kobe take I will continue to keep to myself is where I would put him in my top 10.
9th?
Nowhere.
8th?
No.
7th?
He's not in it.
6th?
No.
5th?
No.
4th?
No.
3rd?
No.
2nd?
No.
10th?
He's 12th. He's 12th. He's the 12th best player of all time.
At what point did you just decide you had to keep going with this?
Oh, I mean, once he got to 6th, I was just like, this will be fun. And I'll make Mike think for a second I have him number 1 overall. No, he's 12th. I'm sorry. Let me just get my Kobe take out of the way, right? Okay. Everyone talks about him.
This is what we want at the Omaha Baseball Village.
Everyone talks about him being the greatest scorer of all time. What is the mark of a great score? The mark of a great score is how many points did you score and how efficiently did you do it, okay? There are people who scored more points than Kobe, not only just total, but points per game, and they did it more efficiently than him. So, yes, I won 5 titles. He's 12th all time. That's great. That's a great number. 12th best basketball player ever. That's awesome. But, I think some people get enamored with how he did it, but they don't actually equate to what is the point of scoring, and it's how many did you do and how efficiently did you do it. Plenty of players in basketball history who have scored more points than him more efficiently, yet we call him the greatest scorer or one of the greatest scorers. He's one of the best, but there are guys I put ahead of him because they're better at that than him.
A really, really good player whose ability to market and brand superseded his actual basketball.
Wow. I got him. El Scorcho tweets at me. At Matt McMedia, absolutely spot on with your Kobe take.
There you go.
Wow. I thought I would get a lot of heat.
You're not getting scorched by El Scorcho?
No. El Scorcho. We need to give a nickname to somebody who's El Scorcho in baseball. That'd be a great nickname. El Scorcho.
You keep taking nicknames that I've already given to somebody else. What you need to do is invent new nicknames.
Well, I'm Caleb Williams. That's my favorite football player. He's just taking
just the Iceman where it was already used for George Gervin.
Okay, but when was the last time? Let's just be real. When was the last time George Gervin was relevant? You can't just, he hasn't been relevant in decades, okay? I respect the San Antonio Spur, all right? I think he's absolutely incredible. He's one of the best scorers in NBA history. Seriously, go and look it up. If you don't know George Gervin, insane. But he hasn't played in 40 years.
Yeah, but
you should be able to move on.
This comes back to the Kobe thing.
Forever.
Who gave Caleb Williams the nickname the Iceman?
Chicago did.
The city did? They just bestowed it upon him like a key to the city?
It happened naturally.
The mayor called a special day for Caleb Williams
to be known
as
the mayor
the
in
Iceman?
Chicago really is capable
or
of
did
doing
Caleb
much.
Williams just this sounds kind of cool. I'm now going to be the Iceman.
No, it came on naturally because he's cold in the fourth quarter. Like he's got ice in his veins. He's the Iceman. He had 5
His
fourth-quarter
completion
comebacks.
percentage is frigid.
Okay, but that's because he avoids sacks. Dylan Raiola's completion percentage was awesome. That's because he took a bunch of sacks. Dylan Raiola would be a better quarterback if he had a lower completion
I don't know
percentage.
if it's avoiding sacks when you miss your receiver 20 yards over their head. But
I'm not going to act as if that doesn't happen, but you can't act as if he's the only quarterback
No,
that
I'm
ever
not-
does
I'm
that.
not.
You saw J.J. McCarthy play football this year.
Caleb Williams is much better than J.J. McCarthy. See, I said something nice about your team, and today's the one where I'm supposed to say bad things.
We'll get to that point. By the way, the Minnesota Vikings drama that's going on right now is
drama.
Have you seen all the quotes about those two quarterbacks bitching about how many reps they're getting?
No, I haven't seen that.
J.J. McCarthy is
We're in
is
peak me
is a
not
child.
thinking about the NFL from like my team perspective.
J-
We're still like a week or two away before I'm going to start really kind of going back in.
Okay, let's talk about a team we do care about coming up next year on Middays with Matt. We'll talk about Nebraska football. I have a question for you.
Okay.
I have a prompt, and it stems from an article that I read this morning, and so we'll get into that. Hey, come by the Zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating 40 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson and the Old Market, Omaha. Save the date for Friday Night Live at the Mat, Friday, June 19th. Pet Rock plays live at OBV for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the Mat. Let's talk a little Nebraska football coming up next on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. With Matt here, our guy Steven Martinez from Rawlings. He'll join us at 1 o'clock. We're excited about that. Steven's back after last year. We're going to have a good time with Steven. He'll come up in an hour. We got some other great guests going to come here as well. A special edition of Middays with Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours in Children's Nebraska. I'm now in the point of the OBV where I'm standing up. I'm kind of getting a little bit loose. I did that a lot last
Stretching
year.
out that full 5'9" frame.
That 5'10.5" frame, Mike Schaefer, 5'11".
You just unfurl yourself.
I got a good frame of shoulders, even though I tore both my labrums. I got a pretty good wingspan.
I mean, your frame doesn't change because you tore something. Your frame is the same.
Weak. I'm weak.
Well, yeah, you could be weak and have the same frame.
Yeah. I got a better.
The frame is like what you start with. The strength is what you add to.
I got a better frame than you.
You think so?
No, I don't.
I like much more broad, barrel-chested.
Yeah, I got big barrel shoulders.
Big, burly, fat.
Speaking about guys who are big and who are athletes, let's talk football. Let's talk Husker football.
Okay.
I read an article today. So Josh Outson and I have been keeping up with this, where On3 is releasing the top 5 players in the Big Ten based on position. So they've kind of gone completely down the list. They're almost done. Wide receiver, quarterback, O-line, the whole deal.
Nebraska been represented much here?
So this is what Josh and I have been doing. We've been kind of keeping track of, like, is Nebraska going to get anybody on these top 5 lists? Like, it was a curious question. When we went through, we were going through, and over again, Nebraska was not getting represented until – Can you guess to us the first person? Then he went offense, then defense.
Okay, first person, Justin Evans.
Justin, good job.
He's the best player on Nebraska's roster.
Ooh, this is let's hold that topic. Who's the best player? That's a great question. Nebraska got another representative today. Okay. Top 5 inside linebackers in the Big Ten. Owen Chambliss from San Diego State came with Rob Orch from SDSU to Nebraska, the 3rd ranked inside linebacker, according to the On3 in the Big Ten.
Okay.
Chambliss was an absolute beast in the Mountain West last year at San Diego State. Had over 100 tackles. The thing about Chambliss is that he measures really good, too. Like, he's full 6'3". I think he's 225, if I'm not mistaken, around that range. He's built like a true NFL prospect in terms of the things that you're looking for in terms of measurables at that linebacker position. It begs me to ask, who is going to be the most impactful transfer or the best transfer on Nebraska football's roster this year? So you can take it either way, Mike Schaefer. Do you want to go most impactful transfer, or you're going to go with who do you think the best player will be that Nebraska
it's tough.
in the offseason? It is a tough question when you really think about it, in my opinion.
Well, what makes it tough is, like, it's hard for the answer to be anything other than Calandria because of the value of a quarterback position, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
If you took him out of it, it's interesting because I had, we kind of did this with Michael Severe, and I sort of went back and forth when we drafted all of the newcomers from that Nebraska has brought in for 2026. And I had Calandria 1.
Yeah.
And then he took, I think, did he take Chambliss 2? And then, like, I was thinking about it. This is maybe a little bit off the beaten path. The guy that I think outside of Calandria will have the biggest impact on Nebraska from the newcomers,
yes,
is Dwayne McDougal.
Really? The safety also from San Diego State. Why Dwayne McDougal?
So
this is interesting to me.
Some of it is that I think that Nebraska had other options at inside linebacker that could do some, if not all, of what Chambliss could do. And there's a world where he's not even the best inside linebacker they took out of the transfer portal.
Foster.
Because there's a lot of talk about Dexter Foster's athleticism.
I've heard so much about him too, Mike.
So there's that. I think with Dwayne McDougal, Nebraska lacked a veteran safety that could instill what they want to do defensively from the back end. Yeah. He is going to be the captain of what you're doing back there. He's going to make sure guys are lined up where they need to be. We saw last year over and over and over the back end could not fill run fits. They weren't in the right place. The communication wasn't what it needed to be.
It seemed like they were making business decisions sometimes too.
Right. So you've got McDougal, and you're combining that with Tyler Yelk is going to come in working again with Rob Arch as a safeties coach.
Yeah.
He has, McDougal and Yelk have the same background in that they worked with this RH defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to get everybody else on that page. Addison Williams is going to be working with the corners. I just think McDougal is one of those guys that's not going to surprise me if he has, like 3 interceptions and he comes up big over and over. For Nebraska is an important piece on that back end, both from leadership and also from production.
It was one of those things where earlier as the year went on and on, there definitely was a problem at safety for Nebraska.
Yeah, they had an issue. They had an issue.
And it wasn't apparent right away, in my opinion. I don't know why that happened. There you go. I didn't knock that over. I don't know how that.
It got dislodged and rolled and fell, and
we're all good. But I do think, especially when they started playing the top teams in the country. We do not know. I have no idea. I'm sorry. But it was one of those things where, as they started playing the teams that loved to pound the football through the run, when they played Minnesota, when they played Iowa, when they played Utah, that's when you started to see oof. They got it's not just a D-line thing. It was a full, like Penn State. I don't know what the hell they were doing in Penn State. I talked to Jay Moore about it a ton, where Jay described it so perfectly. Typically, you either spill out, right? You're spilling everything out and everybody's, you're playing inside, everybody goes in the outside, or you contain and then you fill the middle, right? The linebackers were filling the middle and the D-ends were spilling out. And it's just like, that's why they kept turning the corner, because there was no support. And to your point, if you had a veteran, safety from the back end,
right?
Do you know what he could say? It's not just about him making the plays. It's about him saying, hey, MFers, figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, let's get this lined up how we want it lined up. Let's get this
I think that's such an interesting take for me. It's a great job. I'll tell you,
I am like a big proponent that Nebraska's defenses have been at their best when they have a veteran safety, when they have good safety play. You go back to 2023, the guy that Nebraska's not replaced under Matt Rule is Omar Brown. I thought you were going to hit me with that bat at first.
Okay. I bring up similarities from the 2023 team to this team.
I think if you're looking for the best case scenario for Nebraska's defense, it's that you have an established defensive coordinator bringing his system. He's able to get guys to step into the roles. You're getting players that you thought were going to be good that didn't have the career that you would expect yet. They take off under a new defensive coordinator.
So here's the thing, though. There's a weird similarity between Omar Brown in 23 and not McDougal, but Jameer Khan.
Sure.
Jameer Khan,
holdover defensive back that came from the FCS school.
Everybody was like, what is he going to do? He didn't really play a lot. And then all of a sudden, when T. White came in, I remember Tony being like, hey, this Omar Brown guy, pretty good. And everyone was like, oh, really? Like, the defense was bad last year, and he couldn't even crack that lineup. Jameer Khan's the same way, where it's just like, oh, really? Jameer, like, Orich comes in. One of the first guys he's talking about is Jameer Khan, and it's the same reaction.
Yeah.
Really? This guy that couldn't make it on a bad defense, he's the one you're talking about. It's a weird similarity, but I think that's the benefit when you get new set of eyes on guys. When you just get a new set of eyes, could be like, hey, let's reevaluate this team and let's see who can help us where in this system.
Like Rob Arch also comes from South Dakota, where they would be familiar with what Jameer Khan and the type of football that he's playing at Southern Illinois and all of that. Like with Omar Brown, he also was coming back from an injury that first year that he was at Nebraska, and so he wasn't quite the same player that first year. He really took off in that second year where all of those safeties played well. I mean, that's again, strong safety play, I think, is fundamental to having a good defense in college football. I think it's fundamental to having a good defense, period. And I'm probably someone a little predisposed who maybe overemphasizes safety. It's probably my favorite position on defense.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. Yeah.
That's another great topic.
My favorite non-Viking ever is Ed Reed. I mean, he's, as far as I'm concerned, like the best defensive player I've ever seen in my life.
I think my favorite position in football is cornerback.
I
love cornerback.
The guys on the island.
They're
find
nuts.
Them so
They're cuckoo. Fascinating. Do you want to you're going to hate my favorite non-Bear of all time. You're not going to like it.
If it's not Clay Matthews, I'll be shocked.
Richard Sherman.
I don't hate that. I mean, he's a really good player.
Dude, I love Richard Sherman and Darrell Revis are probably my two non-favorite Bears of all time.
And I'd be like, you know why Richard Sherman was so good? Earl Thomas.
Well, I mean, it is a travesty because all these Russell Wilson now
you're just hitting the bat against the chair.
So now Russell Wilson retired and they're all talking about if you won the second title, he'd be a no doubter Hall of Famer. That Seattle Seahawks defense deserved to win one more title. They were so good.
Well, run the ball with
Earl
Marshawn, and they
Thomas,
probably would have.
Cam Chancellor,
Yeah.
Malcolm Smith, Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman.
Yep.
Like, that defense was so and that was like my kind of – they were the first incredible defense outside of the Bears that I saw.
Ooh,
and then it was followed up by the Broncos. I got two awesome defenses early in my life. Yeah, the 2011 Ravens were that was a pretty damn good defense too. And Rays last year,
sure,
yeah, sick as well. But yeah, I think with Nebraska football, who I would pick to be the most impactful transfer, maybe not most impactful, I think just the best transfer. I think Quasi Gilmer has an opportunity to be awesome. I've watched.
I think there's a world where he's your third receiver.
I think there's a world where he's your best receiver.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's
you
that's
put
entirely
on his
possible.
tape, man. It's like, yeah, it didn't fully pop at UCLA in part, like, they just had some problems last year, top to bottom, and they fired their coach. But then on top of that, the year before, his quarterback was terrible. Like, Quasi's just the type of player where it's like you see why he was so highly touted coming out of high school. You could see the burst. You could see the shiftiness. You could see, not only the ability to, catch the ball in a short area and make guys miss, but he also has the ability to take the top off the defense. I think he can be just an absolutely Mr. Fix-It when it just comes to the things that he can do with the ball in his hand. So I don't know if he'll be the most impactful because, to your point, you got Hunter and you got Barney there. If Gilmer isn't great, they're still going to be okay at the wide receiver position. But I think just best guy, period, it might be Gilmer. I think he's got the ability to pop. I've bought a lot of Quasi Gilmer stuff.
It's a capital T take that you have.
I have
because not just and we kind of tossed Calandria out, but you didn't go Chambliss, you didn't go McDougal, you didn't go Foster, you didn't go Brendan Black, you didn't go Paul Mabenga, you didn't go Tree Babalade. Quasi Gilmer, I love Quasi.
Yeah. My portfolio, my football stock portfolio has an uncomfortable amount of Quasi Gilmer.
Do you have
stock.
A deep sleeper out of the portal editions? Anybody where it's like, okay, we're not talking about this guy that much.
The portal. Deep sleep. I mean, you kind of named all of the guys.
No, there's more. You could go Jack Wills because you believe in the long snapper position if you wanted to. Maybe you think that Daniel Kalen could end up starting football games for Nebraska.
The second guy I would have had on my roster in terms of guys who might be the best, Mabenga. I've heard a lot of really good things about Mabenga, and I don't really care about the star ratings as much as who else was going after that guy.
Sure.
Right? Like, you can tell me he's 3-star, 4-star. Well, if there's a 3-star and LSU and Alabama are after him, and there's a 4-star and there's not a lot of power, team interest, I'm not really all that enamored. Mabenga was getting chased by Alabama and was getting chased by some top programs. The fact that they were able to get him was a big deal.
All you need to tell me is look at the way that Jeep Wade reacted when they got the commitment of Mabenga.
He wanted him.
He had like 700 exclamation points in that post.
I don't know if he's a deep sleeper, but I would say I love.
Well, you can't really be a deep sleeper when you might be like the third best of the transfers.
I will ask you a question of who your deep sleeper is in a second. I think we're going to be joined by a guest coming up here. We don't know yet. We're trying to handle it. So let's take a break.
Okay.
We'll come back, and we could potentially have a very special segment coming up.
All right.
On the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Special edition here at Middays with Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village. Matt McMaster joined by Mike Schaefer. We want to remind you that this special edition of Middays with Matt is powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours, and by Children's Nebraska. Come by the Zone booth inside Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's official ice cream of 1620. The Zone celebrating 40 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson and the Old Market, Omaha. It is SEC Day here at the College World Series. Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, all going to be playing. And got a little local flavor here when it comes to Nebraska athletics, high school athletics. Tyler Fay, the stud pitcher for Alabama from Grand Island, and we welcome in one of his coaches from Grand Island Baseball, Lance Nelson. Coach Nelson, thank you so much for joining us here
thanks
at
for
the
having
Omaha
me.
Baseball Village Show. How big of a moment is this for you and Coach Kirby Wells to see one of your guys on the mound playing for Alabama on the biggest stage, and not only in college baseball, but one of the biggest stages in this state? I mean, this is such a sense of pride for Nebraska having the College World Series here in Omaha. How is it for you watching Tyler go and take that mound?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun watching him since he went to Alabama. We all kind of had that in our mind, back of the mind, like, is this going to be a guy that's going to take a team to the CWS and pitch on the mound at Omaha? It's something that sure he has dreamed of doing several times in his life. And as a coach, like, you always want the best for your kids, no matter where they end up at the Division I level, NAIA level. So it's like, now that this is actually happening, I think when we get into the field and see him out there, that's where it's really going to set in. I already got some goosebumps walking up here, just knowing that he's going to be on the mound today, and the amount of work that kid's put in to the game of baseball and life in general, because he's a even better human being. To do what he's doing is amazing.
Coach, I got to ask, what do you think's better with Tyler, the arsenal that he brings to the table there on the mound, or that incredible mustache that he's put together here?
I debated on making a sign something about fearing the stash, but that's been done before or whatever for him. But yeah, the mustache is pretty incredible, and he takes great pride in that.
You're a baseball guy, like you. So back when I was playing in high school, the big thing for all the guys was growing beards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels like we've gone to the full 70s, 80s.
My generation loves
the mustache.
mustaches.
Yeah.
The mustache is just taking over. Your son over here.
Yeah.
He's got a good
He's
one.
not
on Tyler's level. I don't mean to offend him.
Well, and his buddy there, Ethan Foley's right over there. He's got a mustache. My other son, Miles, has a mustache like the baseball guys in Grand Island.
You over here, you're clean shaven.
Yeah. I just did that this morning. I try to look like I'm younger. If I have a beard, I look like I'm older. So, they already think I'm way too old. So, yeah, the mustache is the way to go. I could definitely
I
grow
don't think
a
the Mickey
mustache.
Mantle card shirt's going to help you.
Yeah. I love Mickey Mantle and love cards, too. So that's another topic for another day. But, yeah.
I love talking to coaches, especially in the high school level, who, it's not every day that you see, special players just come through your program, right? Unless you're like, Bishop Gordon or whatever it might be, but when did you know? I love asking this question. Like, when did you know when you saw Tyler? When did you know you're like, oh, you got something here? I mean, this guy's got it. This guy could do some very special things, and not only at the collegiate level, but also maybe even the major league level one day.
Yeah, pretty special there. I'd say sophomore, junior year, and it was more with the mindset for him. You could just see that he was more serious about the game of baseball than our other guys. And that's nothing against the other guys. And then I think that's something that my son kind of has a little bit too. And those guys that, just the amount of work that he put in over the years, because he at the high school level, believe it or not, and I think maybe you guys read some of the articles. I think the Grand Island Independent had something out there. I think his ERA, his junior or senior year at Class A high school was like almost 6. But the game that I specifically remember, like, man, this guy's going to be a dude. We were in a district semifinals at Elkhorn South, and we were the 4 seed. They were the 1 seed, and Tyler went 6 1/3 innings, and I believe he had like 14 strikeouts or 13 strikeouts of the 19 outs, and he ran out of pitches. We ended up losing that game like 2-1, and that's not the storyline, but like, his, locked in, that's kind of a big word that people use, or phrase that people use in baseball and in sports in general. He was so locked in that day, and every pitch he was throwing, he was going to get somebody out with. Like, and you see that continue with what he's done here in Alabama.
So I got to ask, like, who gets the kind of the scouting credit? Because, yeah, he went to Grand Island, but this guy's from Donovan, which isn't exactly, like, right next door to Grand Island either.
Yeah.
Someone had to have a little information knowing, hey, there's an arm over here in Donovan that we need to get to the Grand Island
Well,
program.
I think his dad had a little bit to do with that, and Donovan does not. They didn't co-op with anybody at Grand Island Senior High. We're lucky to co-op with Grand Island Central Catholic, Grand Island Northwest, and then Heartland Lutheran. We haven't had a whole lot of people from Heartland Lutheran, but I think they saw that and that as an opportunity. And Tyler was, bought into baseball, and we were extremely lucky for him to make that choice to come over to us. And history writes itself out here.
Absolutely.
So.
Talking a lot about Tyler Fay, the stud pitcher for Alabama, we're joined by Lance Nelson, assistant coach of the Grand Island Islanders. But you got a stud with your last name. Your son Cohen, he's the KJCC pitcher of the year. He's going to go to Nebraska, going to be a Husker. How excited are you to see that with your son with the Husker jersey on, man? That's awesome.
And hopefully I might be doing this in the next year.
I'm seriously, not to put a ton of pressure on Cohen over there, but we'd love to see Cohen pitching in the College World Series in a couple of years. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be a dream come true for sure. And he's accomplished a lot of really cool things, and it has zero to do with me. It has everything to do with what he's done. And very similar to Tyler, he's been pretty laser focused, locked in on what his goals and aspirations are. And his goals and aspirations, like Tyler's, are to be a professional baseball player and take whatever route it needs to make that happen. And the next stop will be the Huskers with him, and we're very, very excited. The family, friends, he'll just like Tyler today. Brian said hundreds of people. I think it's more than hundreds of people. Like Tyler's going to have. It's going to be awesome when he steps foot on the mound in there, and Cohen's going to have that same type of thing when he pitches at Haymarket Park with the friends and families there. So.
Absolutely incredible. Lance, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
This was awesome.
A lot of fun.
This special edition of Middays with Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village is powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and children's Nebraska. Don't forget to save the date for Friday Night Live at the Mat. Friday, June 19th, Pet Rock plays live at OBV for the first time. Grab your friends and get ready to party. This is an all-ages show. See you next Friday at the Map. We have a couple of World Cup and basketball updates that we'll get to here in the next segment on Middays with Matt on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. One of his own hydration sponsor. Nothing says happy birthday America like an ice cold Coca-Cola this summer. Pick up a Coca-Cola and drink at America's 250th. Come by the Zone booth as well at the bullpen inside the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a 1620 The Zone prize pack of KC Royals porch tickets and ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's 13th and Mike Fahey. Pretty big news coming in from the Big East. Luigi Shugo has withdrawn from the NBA draft and committed to Villanova. Here's why I'm telling you this. The Big East might be good at basketball this year. Might be really good at basketball this year. St. John's is going to begin the year ranked. Villanova will probably begin the year ranked. UConn is going to be one of the top 4 teams to begin the season. And then you also got to watch out for Providence. They had one hell of a year. DePaul continues to get better, along with the fact that Creighton and Marquette, they both had down years last season. It's hard. You'd be hard-pressed to convince me that that is going to continue for either of those programs. Big East only had 3 bids last year in the NCAA tournament. They're going to need to get more. I mean, especially in the era.
Well, they have to go earn more.
Yes, 1,000,000%. I mean,
that's part of it.
In the era of college basketball, or just college sports in general, where respect is transactional, and we've seen it with the Big Ten and the SEC. The Big Ten has gotten more power in negotiating because they win more football games. Like that just happens. The Big East needs to do that this year, and I think they've put themselves in pretty prime position through their programs and their investments and also just having good coaches.
Yeah.
They've put themselves in that position.
Like the year that they had this past year was obviously a blip, but I don't think it's a sign of things to come that they're only going to be a 3-bid league.
Oh, God, no.
Anything like that. It is the sort of time of year, though, where, like, everyone feels good about their transfer portal haul. And it's a question of how it all comes together, how these guys mesh. And then, interestingly enough, for Nebraska, you're playing multiple of these Big East teams.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
you got 3 of them on the schedule.
Super interesting. Also, too, like, I think there's a discussion, and maybe we'll talk to Robin Washut at some point during these OBV shows. Nebraska having to play so many neutral site games is very interesting to me. The fact that they couldn't lock in a home and home, what does that – I mean, it's curious. What does that communicate to people? Does it communicate to people that Nebraska – is it one way or the other? Like, can they not find comparable opponents? Do some teams, like, why don't they want to play Nebraska? Why does Nebraska maybe not want to play some other teams? It's a very interesting conversation to have when you got to play Boise State neutral site. You got to play Providence neutral site, Butler neutral site. It's very curious, but you're right.
Missouri neutral site.
Missouri neutral site, and then you got to play 3 Big East teams. Nebraska's going to play a pretty big role in Big East non-con in terms of whether or not the conference games are going to have as much weight as they did in the past.
And all of those teams are interesting in their own right. Butler maybe the least out of that group.
Yeah.
Creighton certainly with Alan Huss and it just being the in-state game. And then Providence, you mentioned their off-season haul. Like, I was reading some stuff earlier this week where they were one of the 10 best off-season transfer portal classes.
Easily, yeah.
They got some
dudes.
Now, how that all comes together remains to be seen. New coach, new place, all of it.
And I think that's always kind of the key where it's like we definitely, over the last couple of years in college basketball specifically, get pretty in over our heels in terms of, oh, my God, look at all the money Louisville spent. Look at all the money Kentucky spent. Look at all the – and then it turns out that, if you don't have chemistry, and Bill Self in Kansas have learned this, if you don't have good culture.
I don't know if they've learned anything at Kansas.
Well, they did the same thing.
They just keep doing the same thing, yeah. So I don't know if it's learned anything.
Well, you hope they learn. I mean,
I don't hope they ever.
You don't hope.
I hope they continue to ram their head into a wall at 100 miles an hour and then splatter all over.
I think there's a big brain conversation to have in terms of you see, and specifically Nebraska football, treat the college football market closer to the NFL market in terms of what position they're valuing and what they're willing to give up for each position. I think we've also seen it backfire in basketball, where there are some college basketball teams who, now that they can pay players, they're treating their rosters like NBA rosters, where they go, let's just get the best players, right? Let's just figure this out. Let's pay a bunch of people a bunch of money. And that actually hasn't worked out as much as other teams actually recruiting to culture, recruiting to need, recruiting to style of play. I think the best another great example is that's what kind of Nebraska did. Nebraska's like, we don't necessarily need to go out and get the fancy Iowa State sharpshooter. We'll go and get this guy from Bradley who, does exactly what we need to do, not only from a shooting perspective, but a passing perspective on the offensive end. It's you've seen
it's interesting. Like the college football market, it trends towards the NFL market. The college basketball market hasn't really trended to the NBA market. The college basketball seems like they're valuing positions much differently than the NBA is.
Well, I mean, what they're valuing is size. I mean, they just watched the team win a national title that had a bunch of big men, and so people want to try to replicate that. There was great stuff put out, whether it was Evan, I don't know if it's Mia, I don't know how it's pronounced. He had an article, this spring that detailed that the numbers were up 63% across the board for portal payments from a year ago. But if you look at just exclusively big men, it shot to even higher. And what did Nebraska struggle with? Trying to go get a big man in this class. Now, you ended up with Bowden Kapke, and he fits what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I think it was also Nebraska making the evaluation like, hey, we're not going to be able to do what everyone else does. We have to figure out how we can win with how we want to win. And I think Fred Hoiberg's done a good job of that. When you talk about these teams that are sort of assembling the best talent that money can buy, it doesn't often feel like they think about like, okay, this is what it fits for what we're trying to do. This is the style of player. It's, we can go get a really good scorer. Well, yeah, we'll throw that in there, even if he doesn't necessarily fit with what we want defensively. Or what we want,
hold on to these thoughts. We're going to talk about Nebraska basketball. We're going to talk about Nebraska basketball in the next segment.
You keep telling me to hold on to stuff.
No. Hold on. You got to hold the reservation.
At some point, I need to be able to give it away.
1620 The Zone hydration sponsor. Nothing says Happy Birthday America like an ice cold Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Pick up an ice cold Coca-Cola and drink in America's 250th birthday. Come by the Zone booth at the bullpen inside the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a 1620 The Zone prize pack of Casey Royals porch tickets and ice cream for a year from 10 and Wally's 13th at Mike Fahey. Let's talk some college basketball in Nebraska coming up next year on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Middays Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Access Bank and Children's Nebraska. We want to remind you there's a low schedule, adjustment this year compared to years past. 2:00 first pitch today for our first game between Alabama and Oklahoma, and then 7:00 first pitch for probably the marquee matchup of this entire College World Series first weekend of Texas versus Georgia. So just want to remind everybody, typically an hour later than what we're used to in terms of first pitches, 2:00 and 7:00. We are joined right now by a very special guest who is manning one of the most popular tents in this entire baseball village. It's Mr. Steven Martinez of Rawlings. How are you, my friend?
Good, guys, man. I really appreciate you guys having me back.
I appreciate you coming on once again. I went down there to go and grab you to bring you here, and I couldn't move. It is shoulder to shoulder. People are packed like sardines in there, buying all the neon gloves and the pink gloves, the swag, the sliding mitts.
It's a good thing they have that extra hour with this 2:00 start,
It's absolutely perfect.
right?
It's what we wanted. This is my 7th year on site here, and every year I tell you, there's more and more people looking for some crazy product, and it's so cool that we actually have 2 booths this year. We have the Rollins and Easton booth downstairs outside. We also have the Combat booth that's inside.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't.
It is unbelievable how many bats we have kind of pumped through here. So it's really cool to be on site. It's cool to represent these companies, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah. Well, last year when we first met and we had this conversation, the one thing that I took away from being at the College World Series and what I was blown away by is just how many people want baseball gear and all of the different, Mike, me and more so Mike, we grew up with the tan mitts and the brown mitts and the black mitts.
Yeah, I was out there because I had a teal glove.
Yeah, we all had the same pants and shoes, and now all these kids got snow cones and cupcakes and all this stuff. How have you seen this evolution? And it continues to get bigger, right?
It's something it should be studied, because the reason why I say this is every year, you go and see these kids' bags at the fields. They got 3 or 4 bats, 3 or 4 gloves. Some of these kids are 12.
Yeah.
They're 12. They got a first base mitt, catcher's mitt, for infield, outfield. And hey, working for Rollins is good for us, but it is just, it's not how we're used. It's not how we operated back in the day. And
sure,
with all the colors, just for today, like we're doing a splatter booth today. So we have our 2 glove engineers, Robert and Josh. They came all the way from St. Louis. They're doing splatter gloves on site, blank white canvas, Heart of the Hides, where they're just letting the guys kind of go crazy with it. So it's evolved so much, because I know back in the day, if you had a pink and a baby blue glove, you're kind of looking at that player like, oh, is he going to play tonight? Or
you better be a stud if you have that. Is what it was. You better be the best player on the field. Now you're like, oh, that guy's got a tan glove. What's going on there? That's weird.
I'm curious. Like, this whole thing feels like it when television went from black and white to color. Like, what has exploded here?
That's a
to
great
just bring
comparison.
all of this into it, because
it's one of those.
Look at this.
It is
Look at
crazy.
these colors.
It is just insane. Especially with our glove team, what they can do to design these gloves. Every year, I think, oh, we can't make it that colorful. We can't get that crazy. And then they come out. We have tie-dye gloves, splatter gloves,
fuchsia.
Oh, we got fuchsia gloves. We have the gloves with our some clouds on it.
Yeah.
Normally Matt would be the most colorful person here, dressing like Barney, but
but this
he
glove
can't match your glove.
This glove matches. Look at this. I got
it's
this
perfect.
Look at this wavy tie-dye thing. It's ridiculous.
The detail is what I think separates like Rawlings and these companies, because as he mentioned, you look at these ties, like you have intricate designs inside of these ties, inside of the stitching, along the leather. Like the customization has come so far with gloves. It's incredible.
What's crazy about that is the reason why we have all these crazy and crazy colors is because we're actually doing all these surveys constantly every month. A lot of people don't think that. They think, we just kind of pick and choose. We do a very good job with getting on the field, talking to the young players. And like I said, I've been in this business about 8 years. If you would have told me 8 years ago, we'd be selling 250 pink gloves at College World Series, I'd be like, I don't know about that one, buddy.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting thing, because you work specifically with some teams. You were telling me West Virginia is who you work with, Troy is who you work with, and Ole Miss as well. And so you've been going to these games and having a good time because your teams are killing it. But I want to let's compare and contrast, right? The kids who are 8 years old to about 15 years old, how are they different in terms of the things that they want and the things that they're buying compared to these college kids? Is it getting closer together? Is there some separation? What's your analysis there?
So it's weird. As you get to college, these guys are very superstitious, right?
Mm.
So, for example, Jimmy Kanicki, we actually had our glove team. We could have gave him a brand new glove here. Could have broken it in, got it ready. He loved his glove so much. It was beat up a little bit. Our glove team did a great job, stitched it up, and we got new lace on it. He used that yesterday morning.
That's awesome.
So to me, when you get to that age, I mean, these guys, we're giving them everything under the sun, especially if you make it to this point. So we can hook them up, but they don't want it. They don't want it. And when I say they don't want it, they're not appreciative. They're very appreciative. They're looking at it like, man, we've won 40 games for a reason. I'm going to keep the glove I've been using.
That's the thing with baseball guys, though. Like, you're talking about all these kids now that have like 4 different gloves. Some of it was cost. Some of it is just like, you really like your glove.
Yeah.
Like, I had a first baseman's mitt that was given to me. Used that thing from like 14 until I stopped playing softball a few years ago.
And you still have it, I bet.
Yo, that thing's going nowhere. I'm going to play catch with my kid with that glove. Like, that thing means the world to me.
Wow.
But those are the relationships that you develop with this stuff. And so now, like, that people can absolutely customize it, or, you know, used to be before, if you didn't want tan, black, or whatever, you were very limited. Now you can go anywhere with it. It's crazy.
Every single year, we're doing a new patch, a new color scheme. I mean, we have pink patches now you can do. We have emojis you can put on gloves. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, anything you think of. You want a palm tree, you want a car, you want a smiley face. It's going on the glove.
Yeah.
It's way different than when we grew up. But, you know, everything evolves and everything changes. So I'm glad that we're a part of it. But it is crazy to see it here because, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think we had one pink glove.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we have one tan glove this year.
That's great. No, well, you have one. It was the one.
It still looks gorgeous to me.
Enough, the one tan glove that you still have is the one that I have from last year. That's the tan glove I have, that Chris Bryant one. But I want to ask you about this because you said something to me. I don't know why it stuck with me, Steven, last year about the Rawlings patch, that iconic patch that you have right here.
It's a script branding.
Script. And I remember you saying, protect the patch. That is, guys, kind of your guys' motto and stuff like that, because this patch means a lot to you. How are you utilizing this iconic looking brand right here, putting it on more hats, I got to ask, are we going to have a Rawlings wallet? I might buy one if you put the patch on. Seriously.
Well,
how are you guys evolving with that?
For you guys, for the wallets, we'll take care of you. We got tons of styles. But yeah, with the patch, you know, protecting the patch, that's one thing that we preach at Rollins. And the reason why we say that is because everybody wants to be the Rollins guy, right? Everybody wants to be involved with Rollins. So many new companies, and we're glad to have them, but nothing beats a Rollins glove. We've been around since 1887. We're the official sponsor of the MLB for gloves. You know, the gold glove, the platinum gloves, that's something that cannot be replicated. So we try to explain to guys like, hey, you know, we can do the crazy colors, the crazy emojis, the crazy styles, but at the end of the day, the neutrals and the blacks and the creams, it still reigns supreme because it's been around for so long.
Absolutely. Steven Martinez of Rawlings, an absolute pleasure talking to you every single year, my friend. Seriously, congratulations. You guys are killing it. I'm excited to go over there. What's your other 10 over there? What's that called again?
Do yourself a favor.
Combat, right?
Combat.
There you go.
If you haven't walked in there, good luck, because there's not going to be a single spot for you, but do yourself a favor, walk around. And anybody's listening, if you haven't been, come check out the Rollins and Easton booth as well as Combat.
Absolutely. Steven Martinez of Rawlings, thank you so much. We will we'll be in touch with you for sure, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
One of our favorite interviews here every single year at the Omaha Baseball Village. That Rawlings tent. You know, if you can get in there, have a good time. They're packed like sardines, one of the more popular tents around here, but always a great time at the OBV. We're having a great time here as well. Don't forget, everybody, newer schedule this year, 2 o'clock first pitch as opposed to a 1 o'clock first pitch like we had yesterday, 7 o'clock first pitch for Texas and Georgia. We have a couple more segments here on a special edition of Middays with Matt McMaster, Mike Schaefer. You've been holding on to your Husker basketball takes.
There's like a bunch of them that you're like, hold that thought.
Hold it. Just keep
and then
holding.
we never get back to it.
Keep holding. We'll talk about it coming up next here on the 6020 Zone Radio Network. This special edition of Middays with Matt, powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours and children's Nebraska. Couple of things here before we get into our Husker basketball talk. I'm very concerned. My mom just made a Twitter for the first time.
Your mom tweeted?
No, she just made a Twitter and is now followed
on
okay. Twitter. This is not good. I'm afraid my mother's going to judge me on my tweets. Would it be very rude of me to block my mom on Twitter? Would that be rude?
I don't think you should. I don't think you have any tweets that are going to be like, get you removed from the family group text.
I don't want any of my tweets going in the family group text. I also don't want a text from anybody being like, what was this tweet about? Why did you just tweet this? What is the context of it? I don't want to text about my tweets.
I don't feel like you have that many like random or, vague tweets.
I'm not a vague poster. I'm not like Connor Happer, who's making a vague poster.
Your tweets are more emoting about your Chicago teams than they are anything else.
Well, during Husker,
occasionally you'll do like there's a game going on that everybody's watching. You'll tweet about that.
Husker football and basketball season, though. I'm on Twitter. I'm hammering.
But
it.
you're largely people know that you're going to be tweeting and talking about sports.
Yeah,
so it's not like it's
I have some nonsense.
It's not like you're going to have some like really random takes on the Middle East that are going to come across your Twitter here. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about being a lightning rod of controversy because you're like, what the hell, Ben Brown?
I wasn't so concerned about Ben Brown as much as I am the fact that Alex Bregman and Dansby. By the way, people are like, oh, my God, Dansby Swanson's hitting so bad. Dansby Swanson has been hitting terrible. Dansby Swanson, for a vast majority of his Cub career, has been bad at hitting. This is not new news to me.
No, it's surprisingly bad. So I have a question.
Go ahead.
You get on the radio, and often during the crossover, and you are somewhat of an oversharer.
Not somewhat.
So you're an oversharer. So why would you be worried about the Twitter?
Well,
they could listen to your show and be like,
I just don't want to
Matt,
text
what the
about
hell
my
were you?
tweets.
That was probably a nice young lady that you went out with the other day, and now you're talking about this date, and she probably doesn't want to have this date mentioned on air. Maybe she's like, hey, I went out with someone that's a radio person, and now they know that you went out with her and talked about it on air.
Here's the funny thing, though. I do know when my parents might be listening, and in those instances, that's when I don't.
Is there a light that goes on in your brain or something?
No, but like there definitely are times when they are or are not working, so they tune in. So I am kind of cognizant of what I share and when I share it. So I'll just spoil the surprise.
That's good. You should have a little bit of a, I don't want to say filter, because frankly, I don't want to do anything that changes your style of what you do and who you are.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Some would say that me not having a filter is some of the best parts of radio.
Well, like,
that was the most disagreeing I've ever heard. Yeah.
Well, what I was getting at is sometimes you cut in, like people want to change things, right? But I don't want to remove what makes you good at doing radio or what makes you someone that I enjoy listening to. As you know, I sent that text. You often say things.
You listen to so much of my show.
I moved to so part of it when you live in Lincoln, you can't get the signal.
Yeah.
And then I drive so much more in Omaha than I ever drove in Lincoln. So I'm in a car all the freaking time. And it's very easy to put on 1620 The Zone and listen.
Is.
And invariably, there will always be some conversation amongst people that I know well. And they're saying things that I find eminently stupid or disagreeable or agree with. And then I like to let them know that I either agree or disagree or whatever.
You're very good at doing that.
And so it's just, but you, maybe more than anyone else on our station, have an ability to say something that causes me to want to pull off from driving, park, and send an all caps text. It's an incredible skill.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to butter you up. Your ability to generate reactions out of people is top notch.
Well, here's the thing.
That's why you're good at what you do.
It comes by naturally because I genuinely think a clam chowder chimichanga would actually taste good.
Take the L and move on.
I will never take an L, ever. By the way, you were talking about height and size in college basketball.
Sure.
I'm here to report to you, Nebraska got bigger.
Yeah,
today.
well,
Did you hear about this? Apparently, some fairy waved a wand and Nebraska basketball gained a total of 8 inches. How do you feel about that?
It's maybe going to come as a surprise, but when you sort of move on from Jamarcus Lawrence and Sam Hoiberg, there's not a lot of ways to get smaller when they play a large amount of your minutes.
Literally in time, Robin Washut 2 hours ago tweeted notable changes to Nebraska basketball's height. Colin Rice is now 6'9", previously 6'8". Will Cooper, previously 6'6", now 6'7".
Wow.
Trevin Lenhart.
Are they stretching him out in Lincoln?
Trevin Lenhart, 6'5", originally listed at Utah Valley, now 6'6".
Are they getting into some contraption where you put your arms up and they stretch your arms and your ankles and they kind of like
that might be
Stretch Armstrong?
That might be Mike Chapman's new.
Do you know what a Stretch Armstrong is?
Yes, it was a toy.
Okay.
And I used to watch a show on whatever network Storage Wars used to be on.
Okay.
About how they would collect toys. And this toy collector, was always looking for.
But you never had a Stretch Armstrong.
God, no. I didn't play with toys. I played with cars, like Lightning McQueen. Other than that, I didn't play with toys.
Wow, you weren't an action figure kid.
I watched ESPN and I would take hockey
I
sticks.
did that. I played with toys.
I would take hockey sticks and I would shoot and I would run around.
All of these things.
I touched grass growing up,
Same.
I wasn't an action figure kid. Do you count collecting basketball cards as like action?
No.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's not a figure, so no.
Would people go, Matt?
Now, if you're like, I had a big collection of starting lineup figures and I never took out of the box.
Well, I would spend my time organizing my card collection and starting lineups that I would want.
Okay.
So like there's like a line of like Jameer Nelson and then Jason Kidd or like the guards, and then I have one that's
Jameer Nelson and Jason Kidd.
I think that'd be a great combination.
It would be tough. You would
Jason,
need to get your three-point shooting elsewhere.
Well, so that's why I had Dirk at the 4.
Defensively, you would be a little small at the guard spot.
But Kidd is a great defender.
No, Kidd's great. And
And
Jameer Nelson is
By the
good.
way, this is also in the era of the NBA where we were maximizing ball handling. You
Sure.
need to have as much
Okay.
ball handling as possible. And Jameer and Jason Kidd together.
So it seems like you should have really liked the 2011 Mavs,
I really did
which
like
is
the
the
2011
beer.
Mavs.
Like, to me, it's the greatest NBA playoffs we've ever
Were
had.
the 2011 Mavs kind of ahead of their time in terms of the fact of the spacing they had on the floor? We're talking about a team that had Sean Marion and Jason Terry along with a stretch 4 and Dirk Nowitzki.
I
pretty
think
incredible how much shooting they had on that team.
I think
Jay
there's
Terry
some
had
real
Oh,
weird comparisons of the 2011 Mavs and the current 2026 New York Knicks, where, Dirk is a much bigger star than Jalen Brunson is.
Yeah.
But it's more of the like guys that had a really good feel for filling their roles. Like, Barea would come in and he knew exactly what his role was.
I mean, there
Tyson Chandler knew that he wasn't there to score. It was to catch alley-oops and to block people and to grab rebounds.
I think that, the continuity and culture and understanding of what to do and when to do it and who's doing it definitely compares. But I don't think there's too many comparisons to like their paths. Like the New York Knicks, they're probably going to end up winning the NBA Finals, but their path was nothing like Dirk Nowitzki.
No,
Dirk had to
it's
Kobe,
not.
he
It's not
had
to
to
compare because even
San
the
Antonio,
finals isn't close to the same.
I mean, Dirk.
But I mean, I'm just talking team context. Like,
Oh, sure.
it's different because Dirk. To me, Dirk is a guy that you're talking about, one of the 15 best players ever.
I think Dirk.
I think Dirk's value to the NBA is undersold in how important it was to have an international player like that become a star to show the pathway for all the other players that followed.
It's interesting.
And then he did it all for one team, which makes it even more remarkable.
I've never fully see. I always think of Dirk in terms of his innovativeness as more of what he did on the basketball court, not necessarily.
Oh, I think his entire career gets sort of under discussed.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
So, but I'm
Without a
also
doubt.
very much in the Dirk camp. So
I think they beat 13 Hall of Famers on their way to that NBA title in 2011.
something like that. I mean,
Kobe,
Yeah.
Paul, Tony Parker, Duncan.
Well, no, they didn't beat. So the Spurs lost to the Grizzlies
They
in the
beat
first
Grizzlies.
round
I'm
of that
sorry.
playoffs.
But they beat the Baby Thunder. You beat 3 Hall of Famers right there. Then you beat the Heat, 3 Hall of Famers right there, plus Paul. And it's pretty.
And
pretty damn
and
good
the Lakers.
basketball.
I mean, they swept that Lakers team.
They killed that Lakers team. Anyway, real quick, what are your expectations for Nebraska basketball this season? I know this
be
is kind
good.
of a loaded question. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's fair to or reasonable to expect that they're going to get second in the conference or that they're going to be a Sweet 16 team. But I also don't think of it now in terms of the I don't think it's it makes sense to put a cap or be like, oh, there could be a Sweet 16 or they're around to 32. I think they're an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a tough team for anybody to play at any time. I think it's a continuation of what Fred Hoiberg has continued to build. They've got guys I'm really excited about. Trevin Lenhart, in terms of his length, how difficult that's going to be for some teams to sort of deal with. He's got a lot of the characteristics of a Sam Hoiberg and the stuffing of the stat sheet the way that Hoiberg would, except he's about 4.5 inches taller.
If he's 6'6", try 8 inches taller.
Well, we're going off of whatever listed measurements that they.
We'll just say that now
that
he's
ESPN
6 foot.
had last
We will
year.
say he's now 6'5" because he's listed at 6'6".
Do you think that you and Sam Hoiberg are the same height?
We are?
Okay.
I know Sam.
I know you know Sam.
Sam's
you
great.
helped make an introduction to Sam for me.
Sam's a great guy. Him and
Yeah.
I basically are the same height.
Wow.
I love Sam to death. Cale Jacobson corrected me one time. He's like, he's 3/4. He wanted me to give Sam his full credit. Because I told Sam himself, like, oh, you're 5'10". and Cale was like,
And he looked at you and you're definitely 5'11", Matt.
Cale was like, and 3/4. Give my guy his credit. I was like, all right, Cale, sounds good.
No, I'm pretty bullish on what they went out and did. I wish it felt like they were maybe one piece short from a scoring side of it for me.
They were one piece away from
the guy that went to Iowa that they were recruiting from Illinois State was the one thing that I sort of wish that they had accomplished in this class. Go get a younger guy who can have a little bit of an off the bench scoring punch for you. But I question where that's going to necessarily come from, or what they have. But here's the other thing, and we don't really talk about it, but they have a couple freshmen that they're really excited about.
I'm going to have a big eye on Lanier, a big eye on Rice, but also Will Cooper.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You've heard that. You and I have talked about this. I've heard Will Cooper things.
Heard he's the best shooter at their practices, and that includes Sanford.
You've heard Will Cooper things. I've heard Will Cooper things. I was hearing more things about Will Cooper than people I would thought that I should have been hearing about.
Oh.
And those people have since transferred. So there you go. You can put that 2 and 2 together. All right, let's hit a break. We have one final segment here on a special show, Middays with Matt at the Omaha Baseball Village. Our predictions for Alabama versus Oklahoma coming up next.
Baseball.
Yeah, I love it. Here on the 620 The Zone Radio Network. Come by the Zone booth at the bullpen inside the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a 1620 The Zone prize pack of KC Royals porch tickets and ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's 13th and Mike Fahey. 1620 The Zone's hydration sponsor. Nothing says happy birthday America like an ice cold Coca-Cola this summer. Pick up a Coca-Cola and drink in America's 250th. There's a reason why we call the College World Series the greatest show on dirt. And we had some incredible baseball being played yesterday. And everybody wants to talk about pitching. Everybody wants to talk about the homers. Everyone wants to talk about the hits. Let's talk a little bit of defense. The defensive play of the game is presented by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
The pitch hit on the ground, could be two. Flip to second for one, relay to first in time, a double play. Hit it right into the shift. 6-4-3, and North Carolina 1 out away from a 1-0 start.
And North Carolina did get that 1-0 start in.
Sure did.
Sending Ole Miss to the elimination game where they will take on Troy. Should be a very interesting game. And then the North Carolina, what are they, the Omaha Heels? Omaha Heels?
You can just call them the Tar Heels.
Or the Tar Heels. They're taking on the Omaneers of West Virginia.
Or the Mountaineers.
Or the Mountaineers of West Virginia in the game to continue to advance on. And I mean, that's the point. They're supposed to, make their Omaha-based nickname. Mike, you're the one who's crapping on nicknames now.
No. I'm just saying, we have the Oma Dogs, we have the Oma Hogs. We don't have to try to make everything an Oma something.
But that's what they've done. All of them have done that before.
Oma Dome.
Oma Dome.
Just because you do it doesn't mean that it's good.
Every game. See, I can't.
How about the fact that I pointed out yesterday was going to be a pitcher's duel, which it was for about 8 innings.
Yeah.
You really trying to look for credit for your takes? Is that what this is about?
I'm just saying.
You really trying
I had
to
a good feel for it.
I mean, why don't you just put some mariachi music behind all of your
Would
great
love
takes
to.
that you've
Can we
had?
get that going? I'd like to see Josh dance a little bit here.
Josh only dances when I play mariachi music.
Well, you'd be the one playing.
If the mariachi music plays, I dance. It doesn't matter who hits play.
By the way, can you say it correctly?
Mariachi.
Thank you. Mariachi. And it's marinara sauce.
Mariachi.
Now that one I'm more skeptical of.
You know what? I'm kind of skeptical of how bad the traffic is going to be today, Josh Hudson. I will guess
Matt McSegway.
that we are. You know what? You don't have to do it every time I have a good segue. I'm going to guess you're backed up to 22nd and coming today. Where are we at?
I don't know. Where's those golden arches at? Yep, right about there. So you nailed it. Do you
Thank
want
you.
credit for that?
Yeah, we'll play some mariachi music behind it.
Dance.
Good news is, though, your cross streets, your 16ths, your 12ths, all those are looking a lot clearer than they were yesterday as people navigate their way downtown for the series today. Your traffic presented by Park Omaha. Make a game plan for your parking. Learn more about parking in advance at parkomaha.com. Would you like a weather report?
Yes, I would love a weather report.
Okay. Sam's brother has told us that, knock on wood, we should be good for the rest of the day. There could be a quick pop-up shower in the afternoon, but that's expected to be south of the Omaha Metro. We're looking at a high of 74 today. I believe a touch warmer tomorrow, about 78, which I'm not going to complain about. And then Monday looks like it could be I believe our television partner KETV calls it a top 10 day.
Wonderful.
So good baseball weather here. We've been very lucky.
I love the 70s.
That used to be a TV show on VH1.
Yeah. That 70s show?
No, well, that was also a television show on Fox.
Did you ever watch that 90s show?
I did.
I didn't. And I see all the memes and hey, remember that? And I'm like, I don't remember. I do not remember.
I read
this.
about that in Klosterman's book.
The 70s show?
Where he's just it was all about, the 70s show was all about nostalgia and being oh, remember when we used to do this in the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of niche references to that stuff.
That was the joke. And then the not horrible person left and everyone remaining was a horrible
Ashton Kutcher?
human being. Yeah.
Was he the not horrible
I
person?
assume Topher Grace was a not horrible person.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher's a Bears fan. That's all I really know about him.
Okay.
That and Punked. Didn't you do Punked?
He did do Punked.
Yeah. They did a great punked on Kim Kardashian one time where they had her. They purposely left the gas pump in, and then they had her drive off, and then they exploded the gas station. It's pretty sick.
I want to play a game where it's either a true or false, and I take a celebrity and I tell you that this is their favorite football team.
Oh, I think I do great at it.
Ooh.
Or Brenda Song, the LA Rams.
Or we do it match game style where I give you 10 celebrities and 10 teams, and you have to match up which celebrity to which team.
Rob Lowe. All of them. Rob Lowe likes all the teams.
If I decide to really light a fire, we might have this for CWS radio at some point.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that if you were to give me 10 celebrities, and they were somewhat common celebrities, I think I would go 8 for 10 in terms of knowing who they root for.
8
I'm
for
very
10.
good. Austin Jacobson, Carolina Panthers. See, I know that.
Celebrity, Austin.
Yeah.
He is a celebrity, Austin Jacobson.
He just came by. He was pantomiming, playing, or fielding a ground ball and then throwing it.
Kristen Goff. He used to be the Rams, now the Lions.
I would like to see Austin actually throw a ball. I'm worried that his arm angle is a little low. He's going to put a lot of pressure on that elbow.
He would definitely.
Yeah, he dropped the shoulder, and I was like, okay, is he throwing from short here, or what are we doing?
Austin is either the guy who's super athletic and it comes by you didn't really expect it, or he's the guy who looks athletic and he's not athletic at all.
He looks athletic.
He's a runner.
I know. I judge a lot of people based on how they throw.
So you're an athlete because you're a runner?
No, I judge people. If you don't know how to throw, you're not an athlete.
I think that's a totally great take. I think you're totally
correct. If you can't, there's a lot of people who can work out and look like they can do stuff, but you can't throw a ball.
I love it.
I will judge the hell out
I love that LeBron is golfing now because his golf swing looks terrible. And it makes me feel great. I'm like, look at this guy.
He'll get it fixed.
He's one of the greatest athletes in the world.
One of the things that you learn about athletes is that the reason they get so good is that they take coaching so quickly.
Yeah.
And so these guys will start taking a little bit of lessons and immediately be good at it.
Do you know
their aptitude is incredible?
Do you know who's already actually really impressive at golf is Bronny. Bronny, I've seen videos of Bronny swing.
Why are you watching Bronny golf videos?
Great follow-up, Mike.
Because I'm just obsessed with every sport thing. I just find them all the time. I like golf YouTube.
Can you explain to me the path that you're on that leads you to a Bronny golf video on a Thursday night?
I like Bob Does Sports. You know Bob Does Sports?
Nope.
He's a golf YouTuber. So I watch Bob Does Sports, and then that leads me to more golf on my algo, which then
I feel like the biggest difference between me
and you.
No, not just you, but just other people at this point in my life. I watch nothing off of YouTube.
Oh, I watch everything off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People I love this YouTube show. And I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all my 7-year-old watches.
Yeah,
YouTube. And I didn't mean just you. I meant literally anyone younger than me.
But my generation was we really started carrying that flag that YouTube is everything.
Just whatever it gives him, he'll watch and he'll laugh his head off. And
Well, what we were going to be watching today is college baseball here at the College World Series. Your prediction for Alabama versus Oklahoma?
I'm going Alabama and Tyler Fay. I mean, we had that interview. How am I going to go against that?
How can I root against Lance Nelson?
That mustache is good for at least 7 strikeouts.
Josh Hodson, what say you?
Let's make it a clean sweep so that we'll be dead wrong later. Alabama.
The Omaha Tide gets the entirety of our picks here in this first game here on the Saturday of College World Series. 16th one of the zone is joined today and powered by the Sedora Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next. And don't forget about the hydration sponsor of 1620 The Zone. Nothing says happy birthday, America, like an ice cold Coca-Cola this summer. Pick up a Coca-Cola and drink in America's 250th. Matt McMaster, Mike Schaefer, Josh Hodson, Jake Janicek back at the 50th and Dodge Studios. Let's send it up to our Westwood One radio booth with Connor Happer, John Bishop, and Josh Peterson on the call here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.